around 3 yesterday morning and then took her Lexus on a joyride, sideswiping several parked cars at Norwood before crashing the car on Sydenham Road and making a run for it. The police helicopter and a police dog helped track them down. One girl is still on the run. The other 4 all appeared in the Adelaide Youth Court yesterday afternoon, where it was ordered that they be held in detention while reports are prepared on the suitability of their homes for bail. The 25-year-old Uber driver was naturally shaken up by the ordeal, but she wasn't physically injured.
Cost of living concerns are front of mind for voters, according to latest polling. An Ipsos survey shows 70% of respondents have selected it as one of 3 major issues in the country ahead of climate change. A decision on the fate of Reserve Bank Governor Philip Lowe could be made as soon as today. Dr Lowe's term as RBA Governor expires in September, and economists believe it's unlikely to be renewed as the Treasurer weighs up his options. The Prime Minister is set to meet with Cabinet now that he's returned from the NATO summit. Anthony Albanese says any change would be carefully considered.
We will make that decision as a Cabinet. One of the things about my government is that it has proper processes. We have co-ordered comments from different departments. What Australia wants is an orderly, considered government that meets the challenges which are there, and there are challenges there at the moment over cost of living.
National Australia Bank employees have been granted the right to work from home and a 17.5% pay increase over the next 4 years in a landmark deal. The bank's 25,000 employees will also be appeal unreasonable refusals to their work-from-home requests. The Commonwealth Bank remains in a standoff with its workers over a return-to-work order. Police are on high alert in Paris with the stage set for Bastille Day celebrations. Stephanie Wachlowick's there.
The streets have been quiet of rioters for almost 2 weeks, but extra security has been mobilised with the concern just as high that troublemakers could mar France's National Day.
There will be extra more security all around. We all want safe. Not want problems.
After a week of daily morning rehearsals, a parade will wind along l'Avenue des Champs-Élysées in the heart of Paris, with President Emmanuel Macron shutting down most of the city. 130,000 police have been deployed, with officers and the military stationed almost every 500 metres. The Air Wing and specialist police units are also on standby. Fireworks went off at midnight to officially mark the start of celebrations, but the sale and the use of fireworks by anyone else has been banned after pyrotechnics were weaponised during last month's protests.
Actors in the US are going on strike, effectively shutting down Hollywood. Stars like Meryl Streep, Jennifer Lawrence and Emily Blunt are among the actors walking off the job as they ask for increased pay and residual pay when films or shows are shown again, particularly on streaming services. The move stops all production on film and TV in the US, except for independent productions. Screen Actors Guild President Fran Drescher says it's an action they didn't want to take.
It's a very serious thing that impacts thousands, if not millions of people all across this country and around the world.
And a man's been charged over a fake gold bullion scam on the Sunshine Coast. It's alleged he was attempting to sell gold bullion that was actually gold-plated copper at a service station in the Glasshouse Mountains. He's been charged with several offences and will face court next month. Now turning to FIVEAA Sport.
Get 10-year warranty and 10 years capped price servicing on the new Mitsubishi Outlander at Agostino Mitsubishi.
Good morning, Tom Wren.
Good morning to you as well, Kendall. Let's start with footy. Sydney has jumped to 11th on the ladder to remain in the finals hunt after a thrilling 2-point win against the Western Bulldogs. Dogs coach Luke Beveridge says it was the win that got away.
It was really just a couple of decisions and ball use forward of the centre when we had momentum that sort of gave them back momentum in that last quarter that was detrimental.
Port Adelaide has made a whopping 6 changes for its match against Carlton at Marvel Stadium tomorrow afternoon. Charlie Dixon's out injured along with Trent McKenzie and Jason Horne-Francis, while Ryan Burton has been dropped and Junior Rioli is out for personal reasons. Just the 2 changes for the Crows, with Jordan Butts and Shane McAdam back in, while Jake Saligo and Ned McHenry have also been dropped. To tennis, and the women's Wimbledon finalists have been decided, with Ons Jabeur coming from a set down to beat Arina Sabalenka in a thrilling semi. She'll take on Marketa Vondrousova, who won in straight sets against Elina Svitolina. Well, the Matildas are gearing up for their friendly game against France in Melbourne tonight ahead of the World Cup next week. Coach Tony Gustafsson says as many players as possible will likely get game time ahead of the week's opener against Ireland next week.
So if this was a quarter-final, I would probably treat game time and players differently. So you will see some adjustment according to that. So if you're surprised that maybe a player has a phenomenal game tomorrow and I take her off in halftime, it's going to be different.
And Ion Yazanagare has won stage 12 of the Tour de France, goodness me, after a solo push in the final 30 kilometres. We got there, Kenny. That is the FIVEAA sport.
You might have to practice that one. Now the FIVEAA forecast.
Pack away the boardies and bikinis, pull out the Uggies and get your brakes checked at Automasters.
Mostly sunny, a high of 17 today. Showers tomorrow, a top of 14. Mostly sunny Sunday, 15. And sunny for Monday, 16. At the moment, 10. More news as it happens on FIVEAA.
.607, good morning to you here at the markets. We are here for Bastille Day, of course, the French National Day. Welcome to you, Will Goodings.
Thank you, Luce. It's good to be here. Usually when we're down at the markets, it's David and I that are down here. There is one notable difference, though, that something that doesn't happen when David and I are doing it. You actually offered me your throw rug this morning, which I thought was really nice because he doesn't usually afford me.
I've come prepared. It
was a very generous move from me. This is a special day. When you're our resident Francophile, it is Bastille Day. We're at the markets, the 14th of July, an important day for the French, their national day. You described it on the program yesterday as Australia Day. The market are in the spirit. We're sitting in front of some these sort of baskets of baguettes, and there's French flags. I note the Atlas Continental Cafe. Someone's wearing a beret in there at the moment, it looks like to me. It's going to be a great day to enjoy all your sort of French cuisine and celebrate French culture. And we were just told, I think one of our listeners walked past, Con mentioned that, in fact, the Matildas are playing France today in their final World Cup warm-up game ahead of the World Cup starting properly next week.
Friendly match tonight at Melbourne's Marvel Stadium. It's the first time in 22 years that Australia have faced Les Bleus on home soil. So good luck to the Matildas tonight. Of course, we are here at the market celebrating all things France. We will chat with Valerie Henbest. She's the French resident Smelly Cheese Co. owner. Many of you will have been to the Smelly Cheese Co. She will be chatting with Valerie after 8 o'clock. Also, Fabian Riley, the French commercial manager of the Central Markets. Thrilled to chat with Fabian this morning. But of course, all our regular Friday fun. We have Orazio Fantasia from Port Adelaide coming live to the markets. Also, Feedback Friday. If you've been paying attention during the week, get ready to take part in our Feedback Friday. And a special guest today, our favourite chef, Chris Jarmer.
Well, and he's got the best job in the world right now.
Not only has he cooked us delicious food in the past, but he is over in France at the moment. And I was teeing this up with him and I said, it'll probably be 11 p.m. your time. How does that suit? He said, perfect, because there'll be Bastille Day fireworks where we are. So we're chatting with Chris Jarmer this morning as well. Chris Jarmer's the best
advertisement for why being a chef would be a good job to have. He's nailed the whole chefing thing. He works harder than anyone I've ever met in my life, but he gets to do things like, hey, Chris, would you like to cook for the Australian Olympic swimming team? Oh, that's going to involve you going over and having a bit of a look at what's in France a year out, which is why he's there.
Yeah.
I mean, what a job.
Lucky him. We'll chat with Chris this morning. I mean, I've said to him it'll be 6:30 our time, Chris, but if you don't hear us because of the fireworks, well, lucky you. Lucky you. Meat Tray Friday, though. Be remiss of us not to mention Meat Tray Friday.
Of course.
All thanks to Meat at the Market. They are at stall 15. Pop in and see Mike and Kim. They're just by the middle escalators. Get your hands on the best ethically raised local produce. Now, we had a bit of a discussion earlier in the week, Will, about the French national anthem, of course, is used by the Brisbane Lions. We all love the Brisbane Lions theme song, but we prefer it as the French national anthem. But is it the best in the world?
I think it's in the conversation, I think. It's the inspiration for the meat tray, but it's a two-part. We've never done this before. It's sort of a multiple-choice meat tray. You can participate any way you like. Because the French national anthem is a great one. It's been repurposed for Brisbane, bizarrely, in the AFL. But we thought we'll ask you this morning, either you can participate in Meat Tray Friday by telling us your favourite anthem.
Yep.
What is the best anthem? Or you could do this as well. What should Australia's anthem be if you could pick a brand new song from scratch? We're talking anthems this morning, inspired by the French, as we are on Bastille Day. What's the best anthem, or what should Australia's be? Really simple questions. You don't have to answer them both. Either or, and you're in the running to win the meat trade.
Yeah, take your pick. You can text us, of course, all morning while we are at the markets on 0448 08 1395. That is the Duttons text line. Volkswagen tick you in all space. The 7-seater that's perfect for weekends away, camping trips, and the crazy Saturday sports rush. Or better yet, please give us a ring, 8223 0000. It is a chilly start to the morning. Of course, it is nearly the very middle of winter if you're not John Blake, but tomorrow is July the 15th, which means we're nearly at the crux of winter, and that is no more telling. Currently 10.4 in the city. It was our coldest only about 20 minutes ago overnight.
It's not too bad, I've got to say.
Well, it's because you got the throw rug on, Will.
Oh, you're right.
We've got the Nana blanket that I keep at my desk.
Exactly right. I think you're a permanent fixture on these outside broadcasts at the Central Market from now on, because the throw rug's made all the difference, I think. We keep talking about today as Bastille Day, Luce, but it's not what the French call it, is it?
No, La Fête Nationale.
I had it written down here in case you weren't sure.
In case I didn't know.
In case you didn't know. Silly me, of course you did. Which means, what, the Festival of France, is it?
Yeah, it's their national day. Literally translated the national party, because the Bastille, for those who don't know, was a jail, and it was on this day in 1789 that the medieval fortress, the Bastille, fell. That's right, and they celebrated and thus became France's national day, Bastille Day. And I think it's exciting that we celebrate it as far away as Australia. I mean, it's a 20-hour plane ride minimum to get to Paris. So exciting that we get to celebrate it here, especially on a Friday. I know the market's got big things planned today and tomorrow, so you can pop down to the markets to celebrate all things French.
French Revolution was a big part in human history too, for the whole concept of individual liberty, the liberty, equality, fraternity, which is what in French, Luce? What do they say?
Well, pretty well that, Will. You've just put the Australian accent on it.
Oh, right. So
Liberté, égalité, fraternité.
There you go. Okay, so it's actually quite similar.
That's right.
Well, the concepts are similar too, this whole idea of individual liberty and personal freedom, rule of law and all that kind of stuff. A lot of that got kicked along in a massive way because of the French Revolution. So there are impacts that we feel in Australia even to this day from this event. Anthems, 8223 0000. Text us on the Duttons text line as well, 0448 08 1395. What's the best one, or what should Australia's be? You can win the meat tray in many, many ways this morning.
Jump as well on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook live stream. You'll see us here at the markets, donned out by beautiful French flags and baguettes and cheese and all things yum. No doubt we'll have a hot cappuccino, which isn't French, it's more Italian, but you can come down and see us and get a hot cappuccino as well all this morning. We will be here till 9 o'clock. It is 6:14 on your Friday, the 14th of July. Happy Bastille Day. We'll get to some news headlines after this.
I'm Brett Buckley from Ray White Business Sales. We buy and sell businesses for people. When we looked at the different marketing channels that were available to us, we chose radio because it is more personal. From there, we looked at the different stations that were available and our target market. FIVEAA was the perfect fit for us. More importantly, the way FIVEAA engaged with us allowed us to create the advertisements that we wanted to reach our target market in the best way and present our business in the best way. And working with FIVEAA, particularly our representative Emma, and the team at FIVEAA has been an enjoyable process.
To get your message out there and grow your business, visit fiveaa.com.au and hit the Advertise With Us link.
See movies how they should be seen. Hear movies how they should be heard. All on the big screen with Quake Sound at Wallace. And now you can see them for less and enjoy candy bar discounts and other special member offers and freebies. Simply become a My Wallace member today. It's free, it's easy, and it's full of benefits. Go to wallace.com.au and click on Join My Wallace today. Wallace Mitcham, Mount Barker, Noarlunga and the Piccadilly. South Australia's home of big screen magic and entertainment.
$1 upsize deal on Australian-made mattresses now at Harvey Norman. That's right. Simply purchase a selected Australian-made queen-size mattress from big brands King Coil, Sealy Posturepedic, Sleepmaker or Beauty Rest, and for $1 more, upgrade to a king size. Now's the time to update and refresh your sleep with our $1 upsize deal. Harvey Norman, supporting Australian-made and local manufacturing with $1 upsize deal on selected Australian-made mattresses. Shop in-store or online. Limited time only at Harvey Norman. Conditions apply.
Live from the Adelaide Central Market, you're listening to 5AA Breakfast. Will Goodings and Lucy Loken.
The Cherry Amoda 5, state-of-the-art driving from 33k drive away with immediate delivery. Visit Cherry Glen Osmond.
6:16 on this Friday morning. We are down at the Adelaide Central Markets to celebrate all things France. This Adelaide Bastille Day. It's not our day at all. It's the France's National Day.
I thought you were going to say Adelaide with a bit of a French twinge then.
No, sorry to disappoint you.
Okay.
No, but it is a Friday morning. Let's get into some news headlines.
All right. A 15-year-old girl is in the Flinders Medical Centre with non-life-threatening injuries after being hit by a car yesterday afternoon. The woman behind the wheel allegedly blowing more than 4 times the legal limit. The teenager was walking on the footpath on Ernest Drive at Happy Valley when a car mounted the curb and collided with her. The driver of the Mitsubishi, a 28-year-old Woodville West woman, allegedly returned a blood alcohol reading of .223.
It's shocking. Hit by a drunk driver, a 15-year-old.
In the middle of the day.
Hope she's all right. She's at Flinders as of last night. Well, no doubt we'll get an update later this morning.
New research suggests that more than half of Australian employers have hired retirees to address a skills shortage. Bureau of Statistics figures show 40,000 more workers aged over 65 were employed this past February than the one before. The cost of living is obviously a factor as well. Specialised recruiter Robert Half, their director Nicole Gorton says hiring people who have the experience of a retiree is a great benefit.
There's other skills that play out as well, like staff conflict, efficiencies, collaboration, and everything that comes in between. These people with the depth and of experience that they've had over the years, they can actually go and share that to the more junior workforce.
Well, and the stupidity of the situation we have in the moment, the inflexibility of the laws that are in place. We actively discourage retired people from working because it eats into pension and other benefits. That needs to be relaxed, at least in some small way, to account for the fact that right here and now, there's an unprecedented skills shortage in this country. Unemployment's below what's considered full employment right now. Older people with skills should be able to work if they want to. It sounds like many are, but we've got a whole huge untapped resource out there that we should be using more. Hopes are fading that a white knight will step in and complete unfinished homes following the collapse of FIVEAA Group. The South Australian father and son directors, Frank and Frank, have failed to submit a rescue plan to administrators, which, with concerns it could leave 120 customers in the lurch. Creditors' meeting will be held on Monday, where it's likely liquidators will be appointed. Now, we've had listeners, Luce,
Directly affected by FIVEAA.
People who had parcels of land that they had expected were going to be turned into homes or homes that were partially built. Give us a status update if you're listening and you're intimately involved in this. A nightmare. I recall one caller we had.
It was their daughter.
It was the daughter, and they bought the land in about 2018 or so, and had been strung along for years. Oh, don't worry, we're going to start work soon, and there's been supply shortages, labour stuff to get. And then they discovered by watching the news that, in fact, the whole builder was going bust. Tell us what the situation is for you right now. Are you getting anything back? You're completely left in the lurch? 8223 0000 is our number. We might flesh this out a bit later, but shoppers are paying up to 60% more at the checkouts for essential household items like cleaning products. New analysis of supermarket giants Coles and Woolworths has found items like dishwasher tablets and tissues have jumped in price by almost a third. That'd put dishwasher tablets at about $500 a tablet then, I guess. They're going up by about a third.
Ridiculous, isn't it? But, I mean, we could all flash back fondly to David's memory of just squirting some dishwashing liquid into the dishwasher.
Don't do that.
Maybe we do pay for the right things with dishwashing tablets.
Well, maybe he was ahead of the curve. Maybe in reality it's easier to clean up your floor of your kitchen than it is to spend hundreds of dollars on dishwashing tablets. The United States President has visited NATO's newest member, Finland, a day after wrapping up a 2-day summit. Joe Biden's held a mini-summit with Nordic leaders discussing stronger ties between the regions. He says coordinating on climate policy and security will be great benefit.
The vision for the world that we all share, and I think it's a very similar vision, is one that's more free, more secure, and opportunities made available for all.
Joe Biden, he is in our daily headlines, and we do cop a lot of flack because, maybe we wouldn't talk about him if he didn't make so many mistakes, or where was our fair analysis of Donald Trump when he was president? Yeah, well, he's the current president, and he seems to make a few more verbal gaffes than other presidents.
Well, look, the reality is this last 8 years in sum of US presidents has given us someone who says the most mind-bogglingly crazy things regularly, and another person who seems to struggle to say anything regularly. So we've been flush with audio choice, is what we're saying, Liz.
I still can't get over yesterday's Vladimir instead of Volodymyr.
Not good.
When you say your name of your mortal enemy instead of someone who you're directly supporting, it's not a good look on the world stage. Weather today, it is chilly here in the city this morning, 10.4 currently, but we are going for a top of 17, mostly sunny. Hooray, get your sheets on the line if you need to. Tomorrow, though, if you're heading to Adelaide Oval, it's going to be a chilly 14 degrees and showers, so take a poncho if you're heading along tomorrow night. Back, though, for sunny for Sunday, 15 mostly sunny. Monday, 16 and sunny. Tuesday, 16 partly cloudy. Wednesday, though, drum roll please, 19 and sunny.
Oh.
I'm not holding my breath for Wednesday. Mark Analack at the Bureau yesterday said, well, don't look too far ahead, but I'm excited about the 19. It's July and it's going to be 19 degrees.
Oh, that sounds absolutely superb.
Get out the bathers.
Yeah, well, come on. You would, though. You do crazy sunbathing in the winter, don't you?
I do, as I sit here in my Nana blanket and my puffer jacket. That's all right, though. Text us this morning, folks. We'd love to hear from you while we are down at the Central Market. Dutton's text line 0448 08 1395, or give us a ring 8223 0000 if you are celebrating all things French, or if you think that the French national anthem is better than the Australian one, or if another global anthem is the best in the world. We'd love to hear from you for our meat tray this morning. I think we've got Tom Wren in the studio sitting there ready to chat some overnight sport. Get 10-year warranty, 10 years cap price servicing on the new Mitsubishi Outlander at Agostino Mitsubishi. Morning, Rennie.
Morning to you, Luce and Will. Yeah, great start to the round it was last night as well. Sydney in an absolute thriller by 2 points against the Bulldogs, so they're just now one game outside the top 8. But I wanted to talk to you and get your thoughts, and Will in particular. You're obviously following it closely. The Power making 6 changes for tomorrow's match against Carlton. And, understand Dixon injured. He looked sore last week. Horn-Francis, that's understandable, needs a bit of a rest. Mackenzie got injured last week in the first quarter. We know Junior Rioli is grieving the anniversary of his father's passing, so that's understandable. But Ryan Burton dropped again. Staggering.
It blows my mind. It's interesting looking at the Port changes through the prism of what Crows fans are saying, because they're talking with a degree of envy at the moment, Rennie, and I think so often is the case with our two teams, that one can't move without the other reacting, and a lot of Crows fans are envious, saying, here's a team that's won, how many they won in a row now, 12? 13. Making a stack of unforced changes. There's 3 people that have been omitted from the side that beat Gold Coast last week.
Yep.
The Crows made 1.
And they were belted, weren't they? Well, not belted, but they were beaten.
They were well beaten.
Yep.
It's a different approach, and Ken Inkley's not been afraid to throw them around. I wonder, Rennie, is it tough to keep people fresh and motivated when you're on a winning streak like this?
Yeah.
Because if no one in that team would feel comfortable. I think it's clever in a motivational sense. They're probably due to drop a game. Carlton are playing some pretty good footy, so I wouldn't read too much in the minutiae of the result this weekend. But, yeah, I got to say, I look at that and think, I reckon that Westlakes could do with a little bit of that.
Well, just on that as well, Will, the Crows have made only the 2 changes, as you say. Jordan Butt's back from concussion. Shane McAdam, good to see him in the side again. I think, adds a bit of spark up forward. Schonberg might be the sub, and then Saligo was the one that copped it, and Ned McHenry. They were the 2 sort of scapegoats, if you like, from last week's performance against Essendon. So we'll wait and see what happens. I think a good result last night for the Crows with the Bulldogs losing. That just makes it a bit harder for them to certainly make the top 4 and even the top 8. And then tonight, I think Port Adelaide will be hoping that Melbourne beat Brisbane so that they remain 2 games behind in 3rd spot. The big game as well tonight is going to be the Matildas. I'm not sure if people quite realise the gravity of how big this World Cup is going to be here in Australia. We've got matches, of course, that are being played here in SA. We're not going to have the Matildas, but other nations. This could be one of the biggest events I think this nation has hosted. I think it's going to be huge over the next month.
It's been a slow burn, the build-up, hasn't it, Rennie?
Yep, it's been. But I think it's going to be enormous once it starts, and once people see the crowds. I mean, starting tonight, it's a warm-up game. Sold out Marvel Stadium. That's going to be enormous.
It's insane. Well, and we're down here for Bastille Day, Rennie. So big day for the French, the opponents tonight. It's going to be this event. Well, they talk about it in terms of the size and the number of people that arrive in Australia. It's in the same conversation as Olympic Games and things like that.
Yeah.
I reckon by Thursday night next week, I think the Matilda's first proper group stage game is.
Spot on.
I think this will capture the attention of the entire nation. This is going to be absolutely massive.
And I just hope they go deep into the tournament and give it a real crack. Lucy, I know you would have been watching a couple of big semi-final results last night with Onjabeur coming from a set down. That was a great result for her. And Marketa Vondrousova also through to the women's final. I can't wait for the men's tonight with Novak Djokovic against Jannik Sinner. And then the other one as well is going to be built Carlos Alcaraz and also Daniil Medvedev. But I've got to just let you know, guys, stage 12 of the Tour de France, Jona Zagare. I had to do that because... I don't know if you heard my 6 o'clock read.
Oh, yeah, we heard it.
That took maybe 30 seconds to say Jona Zagare. I'm going to just keep on saying Jona Zagare. It was maybe the worst bit of radio in the history of 5AA sports reading.
No, Rennie. I once had one. It was the former Ukrainian tennis player Dolgopolov, I think.
Oh, that's a horrible name.
Alexander.
Dolgopolov. Yeah. And I got caught on the dol so much. Rennie, I had to give up. I gave up. It wasn't ever happening. I couldn't get there.
Just call him the dog.
You know the guy.
You know him. Giannis, I think poor Basil Zemplis had a bit of a mare with Giannis one day onto Antetokounmpo, which is a tough name as well.
It's tough if you're reading it for the first time.
It's
the alphabet soup, that one. Good on you, Rennie.
Thanks, guys. Have fun down there.
Thank you, Tommy. It is 6:28. We'd love to hear from you this morning, 8223 0000. What is the world's best national anthem? I haven't heard anyone argue Australia's yet. Would love to hear someone tell us what they think the world's best anthem is, because we reckon the French national anthem is a pretty good one.
It's right up there, I think.
8223 0000. We will get to more of your calls. And also Chris Jarmer, the chef from Jarmer's Kitchen. He's just texted me. He's up and about this eve of Bastille Day. It is there in Paris. We'll be chatting with him after the 6:30 news with Kendall.
One epic night, $1 million, countless lives saved. Samri's Bright Walk is back July 22.
Yeah, it was amazing. What a way to spend a winter's night, and it all helps the Samri team to do their work.
Well, it was a really long walk, but it was so worth it, thanks to my sponsors.
Samri's Bright Walk raises funds to cure disease and save lives at Adelaide's iconic cheese grater. Join the challenge and help create a brighter future. Register now at samribright.org.au.
Could you survive 21 days on the run?
Catch us if you can.
I'm after you. Hunted starts 7:30 Monday on 10 and 10 Play.
When you've been around for over a century, you know a thing or two. And Business SA and Ray White have almost 300 years between them. So when an alliance is formed between Business SA and Ray White Business Sales SA, they're bringing all their experience to your business, making sure it's in top shape, whether you're buying, selling, or somewhere in between. So go on, touch base with the experts. Search Ray White Business Sales SA. Proudly partnered with Business SA.
If you need a window, and not just anything will do, just call Statesman Windows. Factory direct to you.
Nobody beats Statesman Windows, not on quality and certainly not on service. Windows, sliding doors, bifolds and more. Made right here in Adelaide. Factory direct to you. For windows when and where you want them, call Statesman Windows. States.com.au.
Windows when and where you want them. Windows when and where you want them.
Is there a God? What is the meaning of life? Do I actually need unlimited data to watch a few cat videos on my commute? Cute.
Question everything, especially your telco plan. Get the data you need at low prices with Aldi Mobile.
The new season's range has arrived at Decor Lighting. Pendants, floor lamps, table lamps and so much more. Be inspired today. Decor Lighting, 24 The Parade, Norwood.
Decorate with Decor Lighting.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Mostly sunny and 17 with the 6:30 news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
Looking for the perfect winter exercise? Physio Extra offers clinical Pilates at 6 locations. physioextra.com.
The federal government will soon decide whether to keep Australia's current Reserve Bank governor in the role. Philip Lowe's term expires in September but is unlikely to be renewed. Cabinet will consider a number of potential replacements. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese's refused to be drawn on whether the decision will be made today. but says it's not a call which will be made lightly.
I've been away, so it's not unusual for us to have meetings when I return, and we will go through issues. We have not made a decision on the Governor's position. It needs to be done before September, but we obviously are giving it proper consideration.
National Australia Bank has agreed to pay rises of more than 17% over 4 years and enshrined work-from-home rights. The union deal is a first for the Big Four banks. While Hollywood actors will head to the picket line after they were unable to reach an agreement on a new contract. More from US correspondent Lauren Tomasi.
Hollywood will shut down from midnight tonight, 160,000 actors walking off the job. It means production on film sets and scripted TV series will halt after negotiations between the major production houses like Netflix, Disney and Amazon, along with the Actors Union, failed. Actors have been calling for increased pay along with raising concerns over AI and digitally generated actors. This marks the first time in more than 6 decades that the industry's two biggest unions, actors and writers, have called a dual strike.
A drunk driver crashed into a tree at Semaphore Park early this morning. The Audi lost control on Bartley Terrace, mounting a curb and hitting the tree while airborne. The driver's been treated for minor injuries. And 4 girls aged 14 and 15 are being held in detention after threatening a female Uber driver with a knife and then stealing her car early yesterday morning. The girls are being detained while reports are being prepared on the suitability of their homes for bail. There are claims airspace management in Australia has become critically deficient due to frequent shortages of air traffic controllers. A survey by the Australian Federation of Air Pilots found almost a third were experiencing delays every month because of airspace restrictions. On Wednesday, flight movements were again slowed across the eastern states due to unplanned leave among air traffic controllers in Brisbane and Sydney. A sports concussion summit's being held in Melbourne today. The AFL has declined an invitation to take part. The summit's been organised by agent Peter Jess, who's been working with players on a class action. And Australians can now vote for our Mammal of the Year. Out of the 300 native mammal species, 96 have been selected as contenders for this year's voting process, which will pit different habitat categories against each other. Cosmos magazine editor Gail McCallum says the first round of voting includes a classic rivalry.
Our first 2 categories that we're talking about are our city slickers, our urban mammals, and then the traditional sporting way, putting city versus country. So the other category we'll talk about is woodland wanderers, those kind of forest animals like squirrel gliders.
A winner will be announced in late August. Turning to 5AA Sport.
Get 10-year warranty and 10 years capped price servicing on the new Mitsubishi Outlander at Agostino Mitsubishi.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Sydney has kept its finals hopes alive following a thrilling 2-point win against the Western Bulldogs at the SCG. Tom Papley booted 4 goals as the Swans moved to within 1 win of the top 8. Meantime, Adelaide defender Brodie Smith says the players are keen to give Rory Sloane the milestone match he deserves in his 250th game against GWS tomorrow night. Smith telling Rowie and Timmy G, Sloane is a much-loved player.
He just wants to make everyone around him better. I think that's the best thing about Rory, that he wants the club to be better. He wants us as players to be better. He looks after the staff. He wants them to be better. He just gives his time to everyone else.
And Port Adelaide has made a whopping 6 changes for tomorrow's match against Carlton, with Scott Lycett, Tom Jonas and Xavier Dersma among the inclusions. Let's go to tennis. 6th seed Ons Jabeur will play unseeded Czech Marketa Vondrousova in the women's final at Wimbledon. Craig Gabriel reports.
For the second year in a row, Ons Jabeur is in the Wimbledon final and she'll play Marketa Vondrousova, the first unseeded women's finalist for 60 years. Jabeur has defeated Aryna Sabalenka 6-7, 6-4, 6-3 in 2 hours 19 minutes, and that means Sabalenka will not be world number 1 because she had to get to the final to achieve that status. The crowd was certainly behind Jabeur, and some of the returns she played were outstanding as she clinched victory on her 5th match point when she hit an ace.
And NBA legend LeBron James has confirmed he will be returning for a 21st season. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now the 5AA forecast.
Pack away the bikinis and boardies, pull out the woolies and get your brakes checked at Automasters.
Mostly sunny, a high of 17 today. Showers tomorrow down to 14. Mostly sunny Sunday, 15, and sunny for Monday, 16. At the moment, 10. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Live from the Adelaide Central Market, you're listening to 5AA Breakfast. Will Goodings and Lucy Loken.
Test drive the Cherry Emoda 5 at Cherry Glen Osmond from 33k drive away with immediate delivery. Go Cherry.
6:36. Happy Bastille Day to those Francophiles here in Adelaide. That is the La Marseillaise, of course, the national anthem of France. Those might be familiar with the Brisbane Lions theme song, but today, of course, it is La Marseillaise.
It is 100 times better being heard sung by French people in French as La Marseillaise.
Amazing.
It is a superb anthem. It's a terrible footy song.
Written in 1792 by Claude Joseph Rouget de Lille in Strasbourg after the declaration of war by France against Austria. When you hear the lyrics that you translate, it's a real war-type song. Well, we could go into it for hours, but we do have Chris Jarmer on the line. We will chat with him in a moment. I believe he's got a French person also standing by.
Has he?
To chat with us, sommelier.
Right. We have been talking anthems this morning. We are for the meat tray. Multiple choice meat tray this morning. You can tell us your favourite anthem or indeed come up with a new one for Australia. Jackson on the Duttons text line says, "Hi folks, the best anthem is the Sri Lankan one. So lively and uplifting." I'm not familiar with the Sri Lankan anthem. We might have to dig that one up. Mick says, Australia's national anthem should be Ganga Jang's This is Australia. How good would this be at the MCG? Belting that out before the Women's World Cup final. That would be something, Mick. Don't mind that at all. Keep them coming in, 8223 000. You can text us on the Duttons text line as well, 0480 08 13 95. Or indeed, if you jump on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook or YouTube live stream, you can have a chat with us. Sharon said hi to us from London, so not too far from France, but lots of people internationally interact with the program, either streaming it online or jump on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook live stream and leave their thoughts. Hope you're having a wonderful time over there, Sharon, whatever it is you might well be up to.
Duttons text line this morning, Volkswagen Tiguan All-Space, the 7-seater that's perfect for weekends away, camping trips and the crazy Saturday sports rush. Now, Chris Jarmer is lucky enough to be over in France, and I offered for free to be his personal assistant. Now, good morning to you, Chris. I note that I haven't joined you over in France at the moment. How are you?
Good morning, or good evening. I could have used your help in the kitchen today. For the last couple of days, speaking my pidgin French, or there this, there that,
Yeah, well, I'm not much help in the kitchen, Chris, so I could talk and you can chop the onions. But are you allowed to say why you're over there at the moment?
Yeah, so I'm here for a staging camp for the 2023 Para World Championship. So they're here for 3 weeks, and then they head to Manchester for the championships. The para athletes just arrived today after their grueling 29-hour flight, like I had on Tuesday from Australia, and it's also sort of a reconnaissance mission for Paris 2024 when the Olympic team will be here. So I have to fly out to Cannes in a couple of days to go look at a resort kitchen over there where they're going to spend 3 weeks acclimatising, and then they'll spend another 2 weeks in here before they hit the athletes' village. Yeah,
so you'll be cooking for the Olympic team, Chris?
The swimmers, yeah. So, it's pretty exciting.
How many meals are you preparing a day when you're talking about, either the Paralympic team or indeed the Olympic swim team in France next year?
Oh, okay, yeah. So it'd be the same as now. So basically they get up at 5:45. There's a room where they can just go and have a snack. Anything from muesli bars, toast, pancakes, yogurt, fruits. And then they go and hit the pool. And then they come back for a hot breakfast at 8:30 a.m. And then they train again. And then they come back for lunch at 1 o'clock. And then they train again. And then they have dinner at 7 at night.
I think we should go back to the start here, Chris, because I think you've done chefing right. I've never turned up to your restaurant when you haven't been there. So you work harder than any human being alive. That said, not everyone gets invited to cook for the Olympic swimming team in France at the Olympic Games, no less. How did this come about?
Through my cooking for the Crows, there was a previous dietitian, Bree, who moved to the Australian Institute of Sport in Brisbane. And I think they had trouble last year when they were here getting enough food, the right food, and then they said, oh, okay, we need to send a chef over that just can sort of liaise with their kitchen team. And so, yeah, I had a Zoom meeting and got the job. So, yeah, pretty exciting.
Chris, you are down in a town called Chartres, which is an hour and a half sort of southwest of Paris. What can you tell us about Chartres? You just said there's a lovely cathedral nearby. That's not unusual for France.
Yeah, so apparently I haven't seen it yet, but the famous Notre Dame Cathedral's down the road here, so I'm going to try and have a look at that. But, speaking of cheese, the hotel that I'm in has just been renovated, and it has this, it's a La Cloche de Fromage, so it's a giant cheese covering table, a table covered by this giant clear, and it has 45 different French cheeses, or French and European cheeses in it. So, and my new best friend Sebastian has been, because they literally had to empty this cheese thing out. They've only had it for 2 weeks, and it's the second largest one in France. There's only one that's bigger than this. I suppose you'd call it a fridge cheese decoration type cabinet, and it's worth
impressive, isn't it?
70,000 euros it costs.
My goodness!
Wow.
So I've been having Roquefort, Beaufort. I know you got the lady from Smelly Cheese, so she could probably add to all this. I had some Comté, some Mimolette, and some Saffleur. Now, I'm going to put Sebastian on just to say hello to Lucy and test her French. So, over to you, Sebastian.
Bonjour.
Bonjour,
Allô.
Ça va?
Bonjour, ça va et vous?
Oui.
Alors, vous voulez qu'on vous parle de la cloche à fromage?
Ah oui, j'aime le fromage, mais c'est le matin ici et c'est le petit déjeuner, donc je veux pas le fromage à ce moment-là.
On a la deuxième plus grande cloche à fromage de France, avec à peu près 45 variétés de fromages différents. Donc on peut retrouver tous les meilleurs fromages français et quelques-uns étrangers également. Donc le Morbier, le Maroilles, le petit roux affiné au cidre, le brie de Meaux, et tout un panel de fromages que les gens se régalent à déguster en dessert ou soit le matin au petit déjeuner.
So basically, to translate, we're just having a conversation about different types of cheese.
I got fromage, that much I knew.
Yeah, he's rattled off this delicious degustation list of types of cheese they have there at the hotel.
Sounds magnificent.
Sebastian, thank you for talking to me. My French is very bad.
45 cheeses, and none of them have labels, and he knows every different one of them.
That's amazing.
So it's pretty amazing.
Chris, you told me he's a cheese sommelier. that is his job, cheese sommelier.
That's what I call him, but on the menu here there's a degustation of cheeses, so I've nicknamed him the cheese sommelier.
Oh, perfect. If you jump on the Foodland live stream, you can see a photo. Chris texted me one of this ginormous cloche of cheeses. Thank you so much for your time this morning, Chris. Well, good evening, I guess, to you. It's 11 p.m. and happy Bastille Day to you and the crew over there.
Thank you very much.
We'll hear more about Chris's trip when he gets back, no doubt. And he, of course, will be chatting with Angie McBride this afternoon and over his time while he's in France, of course, with the FIVEAA Food and Wine Show, thanks to Smeg and Pals. You can taste the difference with Smeg and Pals every Friday, Arvo, with the Chris Jarma Food and Wine Show.
You are so full of it, Lucy Loken. You are so self-deprecating when it comes to your ability to speak French.
I fear that my French teachers are listening and they're cringing, going, this girl was terrible at school.
Who cares about them? You just chatted with the cheese sommelier at some French hotel.
And I would love to talk to Sebastian more because his job is to just know cheese.
That was superb. Anyone else who wants to get up and trick Lucy into speaking French somehow, our phone lines are open this morning. It's what Bastille Day, I think, is all about. We've got an expert here
Well, that was absolutely sensational, Luce. 82230000 is the number, of course.
Yes, and we will be chatting with Valerie Henbest, our very own local cheese expert. She is the stall owner of the Smelly Cheese Co. Many would be familiar with it here at the markets. We will be chatting with Valerie after 8 o'clock. We'd love to hear from you this morning on the best national anthems, 82230000. We will take your calls after our weather and police cross of the morning. But first, let's check your traffic.
Thanks, Lucy, and good morning. Looking really good for the drive-in today. No great hassles. A little bit of water over the road to keep in mind at Urbray, Glen Osmond Road near Portrush Road. We do have a lane closed at Windvale this morning, the Graveway near Surrey Farm Drive with speeds reduced, and 2 lanes out of action at Wingfield. It's on the north-south motorway near Francis Road. Speeds are 40 there too. Cameras, Fairfield Road, Elizabeth Grove, and Foster's Road at Oakton. The half-price sofa for sale is on now at Amart. Buy a selected 3-seater sofa and get the matching 2-seater half price. T's and C's apply. Sell-ins Monday. So hurry into Amart. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Warm up cheaper with Cheapest Chips Winter Warmers.
Cheapest Chips.
Bring on the heat around the home with the new Hotto Volcano infrared heater, only $99. Take cozy anywhere and everywhere with premium heat control range of socks, gloves and beanies, 2 for $15. And keep your best friend cozy with the new self-warming walled pet bed, only $59. Check out this week's catalogue for more winter warmers and live cheaper this winter at Cheapest Chips.
Hey, excuse me, you're Adam, right?
Yeah, I'm Adam.
The Adam who bought his hearing aids at Specsavers?
Actually, yeah.
The Adam who got quoted thousands more elsewhere, then got top-of-the-range hearing aids at Specsavers?
Yeah.
Hey, everyone, this is Adam.
Get your hearing aids at Specsavers and you'll never hear the end of it. We've got everyday low prices on the latest tech hearing aids. Book your free 15-minute hearing check with your local audiology professional at specsavers.com.au/hearing. Conditions apply.
Hi, Bronte Manuel from Toop and Toop. Now more than ever, you need an agent who's not just out for a quick sale. You need someone who can stand their ground to ensure you're maximising your home's potential. There's a good reason Toop and Toop is defying market trends and continuing to deliver premium outcomes for its clients. With a history spanning almost 40 years and a team of unrivaled experience, Toop and Toop knows what it takes to maximise your results in any selling conditions. Visit toop.com.au to find out more.
Hi, I'm Wendy Perry from Sea to Valley Startups. Some of the best things in life begin as ideas. If you're a business owner or innovator in the Barossa, Clare, Mid-North or York Peninsula, you can bring your ideas to life with free coaching from Sea to Valley Startups. Turn your passion into a thriving business and unlock your potential. Find out how Sea to Valley Startups could help your venture. Book a free chat at seatovalleystartups.com.au.
Live from the Adelaide Central Market, you're listening to 5AA Breakfast. Will Goodings and Lucy Loken.
The Cherry Amoda 5, state-of-the-art driving from 33k drive away with immediate delivery. Visit Cherry Glen Osmond.
6:48 on your Friday morning. We're down at the Central Market. 6:48 means that all the cafes and the stalls are open in 12 minutes' time from 7 o'clock. Everything's just getting warmed up. I can see my friends at the Atlas Cafe over there setting up their sandwiches and their beautiful breakfast foods. Coffee machine is already up and going. Thank you very much for our coffees today. But come on down to the market. Stalls are opening officially from 7 a.m, but we will be here till 9 a.m. as the market wakes up this Bastille Day. Let's jump across to find out the weather ahead of the weekend. Mark Analak's on duty at the Bureau of Meteorology. Morning, Mark.
Good morning, and it's not a bad start to the day. So the temperature's hovering around 10 degrees, but it probably feels more like 6 degrees. So if you're out walking, it probably feels a little bit cool, but we are expecting a fine day today. Heading for a mostly sunny top of 17 degrees. The all-important weekend, showers tomorrow, 14 degrees, but they should be gone by Sunday. So Sunday looks like the pick of the days, mostly sunny, 15 degrees. But for today, a mostly sunny top of 17 degrees.
Excellent. Now, I know you've just mentioned the all-important weekend, but the chance of rain at about 7 o'clock tomorrow night at Adelaide Oval, what are you thinking, Mark? How specific can we get?
Pretty low, I would think. I don't think we're expecting too many showers to hang around to the evening. Look, there might be one, maybe late afternoon, early evening, but there shouldn't be too many after that.
Wonderful. Great news there. Thank you, Mark Analak at the Bureau. Let's jump over to our police cross of the morning. Senior Constable Rhett Davies is on the line. Now, Rhett, a man's been arrested in Whyalla.
Yes.
At about 6 p.m. last night, police were travelling on Noble Street, Wyler Stewart, when they observed a man riding an electric scooter without a helmet. Police directed the male to stop, but he refused and attempted to evade police. Police kept their eyes on him for a while, and as he rode through the back street before observing him collide with the front of a parked vehicle on Angus Street and falling off the scooter. He attempted to jump back on and ride off, but police were too quick and ran him down on foot before a struggle ensued, and the man was placed under arrest. Search of the man's backpack uncovered an amount of drugs, drug equipment, and a scalpel. But the man, a 30-year-old Wyler Stewart man, was charged with 11 offences, including drive unregistered, uninsured, carry offensive weapon, resist police, drug offences, and breach of bail. He refused bail and will appear in the Wyler Magistrates Court later today.
And Rhett, you've also caught up with a couple of car fires.
Yeah, at about 12:20 this morning, police and MFS were called to Waterloo Corner Road, Waterloo Corner, after reports that a Toyota RAV4 was on fire. When emergency services arrived, fireys battled the blaze while police searched the area. However, nothing was located. The RAV4 was completely destroyed. Then just after 3 a.m, police and MFS were called to another car fire at the back of a church on North East Road, St Agnes. Firefighters quickly extinguished the blaze, but the MG sedan was completely destroyed. Police have attempted to get in contact with both the registered owners, but so far have not been able to contact them. So police are treating these as suspicious at the moment, and police are investigating if the fires were deliberately lit. So if anyone has any information, can they contact Crime Stoppers on 1-800-333-000.
Thank you, Rhett. Senior Constable Rhett Davis there on duty at SAPOL.
We were just speaking with the Weather Bureau a moment ago, and Lucy, you flagged next Wednesday being a really beautiful day. Our resident stats man, Ben Jordan, says next Wednesday is the 19th of July. It's traditionally the coldest day of the year in Adelaide. The average forecast is 14.8 degrees. Last year it was 11, so getting it to 19 this year is really out of the ordinary. So our coldest day is looking like actually a pretty nice day.
2023 is shaping up to be the year that El Nino does return. 19 in July is great news for someone like me who hates the cold, but not great news for those who desperately want a wetter winter.
True.
Now, on the Duttons text line earlier, Jackson said, "Hi folks, best anthem is the Sri Lankan national anthem, and Will, you and I both admitted we'd never heard it, but I reckon we've got a bit of it we can play." Very inspirational.
Yes, stirring. They're very happy people, the Sri Lankans. They're beautiful people. It's such a lovely country. I can imagine them all singing it. Everyone have a big smile on their face as well. Thank you for that text. Lots of other good ones coming through. We might go to the phone lines first, though, with some Meat Tray Friday entries. Francis in Beaumont, good morning.
Good morning. I'd like to nominate the New Zealand national anthem because I love that they sing it in two languages. No matter where you hear it, it's always sung in two languages.
Yeah, here it is. It is a good anthem.
Feels very stoic, that one. And to have it in two languages is nice.
Is it sacrilegious to suggest that we just got it wrong? I mean, we in South Australia voted for Song of Australia. I know someone texted it on the... no, in fact, it's on the Foodland Supermarket's Facebook live stream. Ian says Song of Australia. Well, as South Australians, we voted Song of Australia should have been the Australian anthem. Well, this is...
Come on, Jono, pump it up for us.
It's not Song of Australia, but it's Men at Work. Scott and Glenunga, good morning.
Good morning, Will. Good morning, Luce. How are we?
Good, mate.
That's good. Look, as far as what the best national anthem is, I'm a proud South Australian, but it's not ours, unfortunately. But I don't know the very best, but I've got two suggestions. One is what we should change ours to, and what's the best national anthem worldwide.
Yeah, far away.
Look, I love American sport. Major League Baseball and NBA are my passions, and not so much NHL. I don't mind a bit of the NFL, but Major League Baseball and NBA for sure. So Stars and Stripes, Star Spangled Banner, it just tugs at my heart. All Americans know it. They hold their hand over their heart, and we don't have that with our national anthem.
I think if I'm being honest, it's my favourite anthem, Scott. I think it's the best.
Yeah, Scott, I reckon we've got a bit of it for you. Hang on. John, have you got it there? All right, that's all right. We'll cut it for you, Scott, because I think we all want to hear it. We all want to feel a bit US patriotic. But what's your suggestion for the Australian one?
My suggestion for what ours should be, I was only a kid when we won the America's Cup for the first time in '82, but it's got to be Men at Work, Land Down Under. That is my national anthem.
Especially the line a bit about Vegemite.
Yep.
There we go.
There it is.
See, I think scenarios that most people are across. Big wins in sport. That one ticks that box. Men at Work would be superb.
Totally.
You got the whole. You win a gold medal. Australians are singing it. You don't think Australians would sing that? We'd all go berserk for it. State funerals. Do you reckon we can get away with Men at Work? Made me a Vegemite sandwich. They need to be able to be both a celebration and somber.
Yeah, the old Men at Work
I reckon
whistle doesn't quite cut that somber tune, does it?
You're right. The whistling along would be a little bit difficult. I don't know. I could be talked into it. It's such a good song.
Depends, and I don't want to labour the point, but depends what kind of life you're celebrating. If it's, some people choose to have their funeral a more uplifting
a great point, Luce.
vibe. Some people have a more sombre theme to it. So Men at Work might work for the first of those options.
Another text on the Duttons text line. The best national anthem is the Welsh, sung by a large crowd at the rugby. That is spine-tingling. But the Welsh benefit from being an entire nation, a bit like the Irish, who can all apparently sing. So I think that elevates every music performance they do. 8223 you can text us too on the Duttons text line. It's a multi-choice meat tray Friday today. We're asking you either the best anthem or indeed change the Australian anthem to something that's better.
Meat at the Market are producing our meat tray for us this morning. They are at stall 15, just near the central escalators. So pop in and see Butchers, Mike and Kim and the team to get all your meat this weekend. Now, our producer down here, Sam Daddo, I believe, has just gone roving. Sam, have I found you somewhere?
Yeah, I've given it a go. David's on leave today, as we know, so I've come down to Lucia's just to try and get a bit of a vibe of what's going on at the market this morning. Now, I am joined by
Saskia.
Now, 6:55 on a Friday morning. What are we doing down here at Lucia's? Get ready for the rush coming in.
We are opening up all the fridges, putting away all the bread, setting up shop for a really busy Friday.
What time do you normally get in here on a Friday morning?
About 6:45,
And what time would you say is normally the busiest time of your morning on a Friday?
It's people are in here from 7 onwards.
No worries. That's us here at Lucia's, guys. Back to you.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's right. The markets do officially open from 7 o'clock. Just got a few people coming in now. The protective banners that are around the stalls are slowly coming down. And the coffee machines are firing up. The lights are turning on. We've got some flashing fairy lights over here at the Vegas Poultry Free Range Egg Store with
Real
the French
Vegas
flags.
vibes.
Absolutely. There's
Have
nothing
you seen
like
the new
flashing
building
lights.
in Vegas, Luce? The dome?
It's shaped the sphere, and they can make it look like spherical objects, like the moon or a basketball.
If anyone's got 2 minutes to waste this morning and you haven't seen this thing yet, look up the Vegas sphere, I guess is probably what you'd Google, and have a look at the images of this thing. It looks like they've been doctored or made up. It is one of the most spectacular buildings I've ever seen, and it's because it doesn't look like a building. It is just a large screen in the shape of a sphere they're using as a concert venue and entertainment space. Absolutely spectacular. Give it a Google this morning if you've got your phone with you and you're listening on the stream on the Foodland Supermarkets Facebook or YouTube live stream. Well worth checking out. If you're a fan of any movie or TV show, I've got really bad news for you because none of them are getting made at the moment. The writer's strike has become an actor's strike. We'll have that news for you coming up in just a moment.
Okay, you've found your ideal block of land. Perfect location, perfect lifestyle. Now it's time to stroll through the Urban at the Selector Homes Display Village. Intelligently designed for a narrow block, the Urban is packed with space to suit a young family or your upcoming retirement. Contemporary facades, stone facing, stunning courtyard. You'll make the neighbours jealous. Visit the Urban at the Selector Homes Display Village, Port Wakefield Road, Burton.
As we all know, SA is going through a housing crisis right now, but McGain Real Estate really want to help. If you're a landlord looking to sell your property, but you're feeling a bit guilty about disrupting an awesome tenant, McGain have landlords ready to purchase your property and keep that tenant in place. The team at McGain have hundreds of landlords ready to buy investment properties, so there's no need to stress about asking the tenant to move out or waiting for the lease to end. Visit magain.com.au.
Go Vita, your local health food shops. Over 30 years health and wellness experience and over 300 natural health practitioners specialising in you.
Hi, I'm Ali from Go Vita Marion and Colonnades. This month we have a great offer on NutriVital Aged Black Garlic 1-a-day odourless capsules. Save 37% off recommended retail price with 30 capsules now $11.95. Follow directions for use.
Go Vita, Colonnades, Fairview Green, Marion, Mount Barker, Monopara, Semaphore and Tanunda.
The new season's range has arrived at Decor Lighting. Pendants, floor lamps, table lamps and so much more. Be inspired today. Decor Lighting, 24 The Parade, Norwood.
Decorate with Decor Lighting.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Mostly sunny and 17. With the 7 o'clock news, I'm Kendall Brettig.
Woken with a stiff neck or sore back? Get a Physio Extra appointment today. 6 locations. physioextra.com.
There's speculation in Canberra a decision on the future of the Reserve Bank Governor could be imminent. More from Liz Daniels.
It's one of the biggest appointments the government will make, a call on who leads the Reserve Bank in tumultuous economic times. Philip Lowe's term expires in September and Cabinet's due to make a decision on whether to extend his tenure or replace him. Contenders for the job include Treasury Secretary Stephen Kennedy, Finance Department boss Jenny Wilkinson and current Deputy RBA Governor Michelle Bullock. Opposition leader Peter Dutton says the two current public servants should be ruled out in the interest of independence. The Treasurer could take his recommendation to a Cabinet meeting as soon as today.
A new poll has found many voters believe cost of living pressures need to take precedent over climate change. The Ipsos survey shows concern about the cost of living's at its highest level in the past decade. Police are investigating if 2 overnight car fires are suspicious. Just after midnight, they were called to Waterloo Corner Road at Waterloo Corner after reports a Toyota RAV4 was on fire. It was totally destroyed. Then just after 3, they were called to another car fire at the back of a church on North East Road at St Agnes. Firefighters quickly extinguished the blaze, but the MG hatch was completely destroyed. Hopes of fading, a white knight will step in and help complete unfinished homes following the collapse of the FIVEAA group. The South Australian father and son directors, Frank and Frank, have failed to submit a rescue plan to administrators, with concerns it could leave 120 customers in the lurch. A creditors' meeting will be held on Monday, where it's likely liquidators will be appointed. Thousands of Hollywood actors are walking off the job after pay negotiations failed in the US. They now join members from the Writers Guild, effectively shutting down all film and TV production. Disney chief Bob Iger says their demands are unrealistic.
There's a level of expectation that they have that is just not realistic. And they are adding to a set of challenges that this business is already facing that is, quite frankly, very disruptive.
The WA cycling community is paying tribute to a 25-year-old man killed while training in Belgium. Professional cyclist Connor Lambert was training a junior team when he was hit by a truck. His friend and fellow cyclist Stephen Hall says Connor died doing what he loved.
I think it's easier to touch on what a great athlete he was, but more importantly, he was a fantastic bloke. He always had a smile, he always had a joke, he was just a really nice person to be around.
A lack of social contact with loved ones could be linked to developing dementia. Emily Minnie explains.
Researchers in Japan have examined nearly 9,000 people at an average age of 73. They found those who have little contact with friends or family have a lower brain volume in areas of the organ which control memory. Scientists say it's a significant finding, and while there's not yet a direct link between social isolation and the shrinking of the brain, researchers say it's an important reminder to spend time with loved ones.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Get 10-year warranty and 10 years capped price servicing on the new Mitsubishi Outlander at Agostino Mitsubishi.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Sydney is back in the finals mix following a thrilling 2-point win against the Western Bulldogs at the SCG last night. The win means the Swans are currently only one game outside the top 8. Port Adelaide has made a massive 6 changes for tomorrow's twilight clash against Carlton at Marvel Stadium, with captain Tom Jonas back in along with Scott Lysett, Xavier Dersma and Jackson Mead, while Charlie Dixon, Jason Horne-Francis and Trent McKenzie are injured, while Ryan Burton has been dropped. And the Crows have brought back Shane McAdam and Jordan Butts, with Jake Saligo and Ned McHenry both left out. Well, On Jabeur is in the Wimbledon final for the second year in a row after she defeated Arina Sabalenka in over 2 hours. Jabeur will play Czech left-hander Marketa Vondrousova in the final.
For me, there is one goal. I'm going for it. I will prepare 100%, and hopefully, I can make history not just for Tunisia but for Africa.
To golf, and South Korea's Won Hun An is the outright leader at the Scottish Open after a stunning 9-under round of 61. He leads by 2 shots ahead of America's Davis Riley, while Minwoo Lee is the best of the Aussies. He's in a tie for 26th, back at 2 under. And World Surf Tour leader Filipe Toledo has booked his place in the round of 16 at the J-Bay Open. Aussie title hopeful Ethan Ewing will face local wildcard Aidan Mason-Camp in the elimination round. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Good morning. At Erbray, water over the road, Glen Osmond Road near Portrush Road. Quite busy Port Wakefield Road at Parafield Gardens. Starting to build South Road at Edwardstown just near Bunning for work. Speeds at 40. And look out for a lane closed this morning at Smithfield, Main North Road near Curtis Road. Got speeds at 40 there too at the moment. Cameras, Fairfield Road, Elizabeth Grove and Foster's Road at Oakton. The all-new Hyundai Kona is here, bigger and bolder. Book a test drive at your local Hyundai dealer to experience dynamic styling and cutting-edge tech. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Pack away the boardies and bikinis, pull out the Uggies and get your brakes checked at Automasters.
Mostly sunny and 17 today. Showers tomorrow down to 14. Mostly sunny for Sunday, 15. And sunny on Monday, 16. At the moment, 10. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Cheer up, Sleepy Gino.
Live from the
After 7, good morning to you from the Central Market. It's going for a top of 17, mostly sunny today. Currently 9.8 degrees in the city. We hit our coldest point of overnight 8 minutes ago, 6:59. It was 9.7 degrees in the CBD. A lot colder around the state, though, I can imagine. But going for a top of 17 degrees, mostly sunny to celebrate this France's National Day, Bastille Day.
We've had a bit of fun talking about national anthems too for the Meat Tray on Meat Tray Friday. The Meat Tray, thanks to, it's the markets really. The excellent Mike and Kim meet at the market. You can see them stall 15. They're right next to the middle escalators. We're asking you this morning about the best anthem, because France's and the French national anthem's in the conversation, certainly. But also, it's inevitable that you talk about good anthems, you start thinking, could have we done a little bit better with ours? So, if you've got an alternative Australian national anthem, that too could win you a meat tray this morning at 8223 0000. Let's start with some huge news out of Hollywood, something that hasn't happened since 1960. The Screen Actors Guild are striking at the same time that the writers are striking. This is the first tandem strike in Hollywood since 1960. We were speaking yesterday, Luce, about the Emmys and the nominations that come out. The show, in all likelihood, wasn't able to go ahead or won't be able to go ahead because the writers were striking. Well, now, even if they resolve that, no actors can turn up. One of the conditions of the strike is you don't turn up to award shows. Premieres. The premiere of the new Christopher Nolan film Oppenheimer was on in London as the strike began. Cillian Murphy and Emily Blunt left. There will be no TV shows made. There will be no movies made. The entire industry has ground to a halt. There are 160,000 members of SAG, and they cover a whole group of other people too, television and radio artists as well. There are already 11,000 people striking in the television writers' world. This is a huge story. There will be nothing new that's getting made at the moment. The reasons are pretty familiar to people who have listened to this program. One of the emerging issues in the 2020s that I don't think we would have saw coming 4 or 5 years ago, one of the big things that Hollywood performers were looking for were, of course, improved wages. That's always part of it. But they also want guardrails for the use of artificial intelligence in future television and film productions. The president of the Screen Actors Guild is Fran Drescher, and that was one of a number of things she brought up in an impassioned public appearance following the decision to go on strike.
This is a very big deal, and it weighed heavy on us. But at some point, you have to say no. We're not going to take this anymore. You people are crazy. What are you doing? Why are you doing this? Privately, they all say we're the center of the wheel. Everybody else tinkers around our artistry. But actions speak louder than words. And there was nothing there. It was insulting. So we came together in strength and solidarity and unity with the largest strike authorization vote in our union's history. And we made the hard decision that we tell you as we stand before you today. This is major. It's really serious. And it's going to impact every single person that is in labor.
Never heard the nanny so angry. Now,
what are you doing?
She was very, very upset. Matt Damon, of course, big name Hollywood actor, he too has spoken, but his perspective I think is an interesting one, and he makes a really good point in this little snippet we're going to play you now, because he too runs a production company, so he's in charge of making content, and he speaks a little bit about the manner in which this strike action they recognise is going to affect a whole heap of other people too.
$26,000 a year is what you have to make to get your health insurance, and there are a lot of people who residual payments are what carry them across that threshold, and if those residual payments dry up, so does their health care, and that's absolutely unacceptable.
He also goes on to talk about the fact that there are people that are employed in the industry that are not a party to the strike action that simply won't be able to work now, and it's for those people, of course, that we our hearts go out to them. But as far as Australian TV watchers and movie enthusiasts go, there's not going to be any new stuff getting made for quite a while. Back here in Australia, some speculation out of Canberra today that this will be the day that Treasurer Jim Chalmers announces Philip Lowe's replacement as Reserve Bank Governor. The major mastheads around the country have speculated on who the likely candidates to fill the role will be. There's a Deputy Governor, there's a host of former senior public servants that are considered to be among those chief contenders. Well, the opposition leader, Peter Dutton, has warned it shouldn't be someone that the government has what he calls familiarity with, like former senior public servants. Have a listen.
We can't have a situation where the government is appointing somebody who is familiar to the government in the sense that they've worked very closely with ministers or with the Treasurer or with the Finance Minister. We can't have somebody who has been appointed by the Labor Party or indeed by the coalition to a senior position within government. It needs to be somebody who is independent, who has the best interests of the Australian public in mind.
In fact, Luce, as I was introducing that news item, there has been some breaking news on this front, and it would appear it has been now made official that Philip Lowe will not be reappointed. So when his term ends later this year, we will have a new Reserve Bank Governor. The announcement will be made shortly by Treasurer Jim Chalmers. So that breaking news has been speaking. Clearly, the Treasurer's office have been alerting media the fact there will be an announcement about the future of the position of Reserve Bank Governor. Of course, hugely important in terms of guiding the economy. I think Philip Lowe has been rightly pilloried and ultimately won't be reappointed on the strength of his predictions about low interest rates remaining for multiple years. That has hurt a number of Australians, but I think at the same time he's become a pretty convenient scapegoat for a federal government that's only had a passing interest in playing its role in trying to curb inflation. So big day today news-wise, and we'll be following that one with interest. As we get any indication as to who the new Reserve Bank Governor is, you'll hear it here on 5AA.
And whoever gets that role, tough job they're walking into.
Completely.
The optics of it, just knowing that they will have that title as Governor of the RBA immediately fills people with dread. When they get up to talk, here's the Governor of the RBA. What's the pain going to be this time?
Absolutely
and
right.
The person who gets hired in that role has to take that on.
The one benefit I think they've got, though, Luce, is a byproduct of the way in which Philip Lowe's been effectively treated, I think, by the federal government as somehow he's the one single-handedly driving up the cost of living. I mean, his charter is to combat inflation, and he's been doing that of late as best he can, is that this new governor is going to be able to will get support from a federal government who will say a lot of the problems with monetary policy came from the previous administration, and they've done a review and they've got a new process and they've got a new governor, and sorry, we have to make these tough decisions, but the last lot stuffed it up royally. So they'll have a bit of cover in that sense, but you're right. It's not a popular position at the moment in Australia.
Interesting thing. I say thing. It was a brawl. A brawl happened in Parliament overnight in Eastern Europe, rather. So I'm getting my countries mixed up here. If we can just hear a bit of it. This is what happened in Kosovo overnight. For those who don't know, Kosovo is just a tiny little country that was once part of Serbia. It is now independent from Serbia, just tucked in there in Eastern Europe. That was in Kosovo Parliament because an opposition lawmaker threw water on their Prime Minister.
Well, that's out of order.
In Parliament House. It happened during a debate over controversial laws regarding local elections. The opposition says the laws have strained relations with Western allies, and the guy was just walking past and threw a glass of water over their Prime Minister, and then everyone jumped in and got on board. The men, women, everyone in suits in this very regal-looking chamber.
So it became an all-in brawl.
In Eastern Europe, that's right.
That's robust democracy in action, isn't it?
When was the last physical brawl in an Australian Parliament?
I don't know if there's been a physical brawl in an Australian Parliament. There was a famous exchange on television. I can't think of it coming to blows in Parliament, though.
Has one ever happened because someone threw water over
someone?
someone?
I don't think so.
Let alone the Prime Minister or the Premier. Has anyone thrown water over an Adelaide politician, I wonder?
The stakes in politics in that part of the world tend to be higher than here because it's all about existence and often religion and what you stand for, and you've had to fight for a state that didn't exist 30 years ago and so forth. So I give them some cover. Sometimes tensions can get inflamed easily.
Well, you're a smart guy. Do you reckon that parliamentary privilege extends, though, to physical assault?
No, I wouldn't have thought. I'm not a lawyer, though. I'd like to see someone try.
Just here, Jono, let's hear it again. It was quite a rowdy brawl in Parliament. Punches thrown, yelling, water going everywhere.
I think I've been too generous on reflection, Luce, talking about, the heightened nature of debate. And I mean, someone just threw a glass of water at someone. That's sort of...
Their Prime Minister.
That's like sort of drunk dinner party antics, kind of.
It's like Peter Dutton in Parliament House walking past Anthony Albanese and grabbing his cup of water he was sipping from and just putting it on his head as he walked past.
It would kill your career politically in Australia because Mark Latham lost an election because of a hard handshake. I don't reckon throwing a glass of water over your opponent would win you too much favour with the electorate.
There we have it, Kosovo Parliament, everyone, Eastern Europe, if you were wondering where that was. Let's get to your traffic in a moment, but coming up we will chat with Timmy G ahead of Port's clash this weekend.
Thanks, Lucy. Really good run into work today. No great hassles. A little bit of water over the road to look out for at Break, Glen Osmond Road near Portrush Road. We're busy. Port Wakefield Road at Parafield Gardens. Slow South Road at Edwardstown just near Bunnings for roadworks. And do have 2 lanes closed this morning at Wingfield. That's on the north-south motorway near Francis Road. Speeds at 40. Cameras, Kesters Road, Para Hills West and Kings Road at Paralawi. The King Living Winter Sale ends soon. Save up to 50% on selected Australian design award-winning furniture. Sale ends soon. Visit the King Living Keswick showroom today. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
5AA Mornings with Matthew Pantelis.
Politicians say rules must be changed in federal parliament to prevent senators who quit their party remaining as independents. This comes up in every upper house around the country. Well, either stop talking about it or fix it.
Weekday mornings from 9.
This argument that says, they shouldn't be allowed to stay, well, change the rules. Stop talking about it. It's very simple, but they won't.
On 13.95, Adelaide's 5AA. $1 upsize deal on Australian-made mattresses now at Harvey Norman. That's right. Simply purchase a selected Australian-made queen-size mattress from big brands King Coil, Sealy Posturepedic, Sleepmaker or Beauty Rest, and for $1 more, upgrade to a king size. Now's the time to update and refresh your sleep with our $1 upsize deal. Harvey Norman, supporting Australian-made and local manufacturing with $1 upsize deal on selected Australian-made mattresses. Shop in-store or online. Limited time only at Harvey Norman. Conditions apply.
If you thought it was tricky to source a great deal on a new Volkswagen, think again. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen's demo clearance is on now. We've loaded up on a massive range of demo Volkswagens available for delivery right now. Loads of colours, loads of options, plus on-site finance options available. And remember, we offer next-day servicing too. So hurry, the Volkswagen demo clearance won't last. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city.
The new season's range has arrived at Decor Lighting. Pendants, floor lamps, table lamps, and so much more. Be inspired today. Decor Lighting, 24 The Parade, Norwood.
Decorate with Decor Lighting.
This month, all kids 14 and under get to go to the footy for free.
What about that?
That's all games between rounds 16 and 19 of the 2023 Toyota AFL Premiership season. From selfies to screamers and tasty treats.
Spectacular!
Make it an awesome day for the family with a day out at the footy. Kids go free rounds 16 to 19.
Boy, oh boy, wow,
Go to afl.com.au/kidsmonth. Terms and conditions apply, subject to capacity and availability.
You never forget building your first home. But you don't always get a say on things like the style and choice of pavers. You get what you get. So with your second home, get in touch with Paving SA and get what you want. A beautifully paved driveway, stunning paths and entertaining areas, retaining walls to make the most of your property. For paving, retaining walls, earth moving and concreting, say good day to Paving SA. pavingsa.com.au.
Know the news with Adelaide's 7 News. Don't miss Adelaide's leading news hour tonight at 6 o'clock.
Live from the Adelaide Central Market, you're listening to 5AA Breakfast. Will Goodings and Lucy Loken.
The Cherry Amoda 5. State-of-the-art driving from 33k drive away with immediate delivery. Visit Cherry Glen Osmond.
Couple of shock outs for Port Adelaide this weekend. Fans will no doubt be across. It is 7:22, which means the sun is officially up. The central markets are officially open. Come down and get a coffee and some breakfast as we celebrate Bastille Day. But of course, from 4 o'clock this evening, dissecting all the footy ahead of this weekend, and of course the Wimbledon tennis finals are Rowie and Timmy G. That's $17 Schneed, Monday to Wednesday at the Albion, Birkenhead Tavern, Excelsior and Lighthouse Wharf. You just know it is a Barreau hotel.
Speaking about report cards with distinctions, here's Ginnivan.
Tim Ginnivan on 5AA Breakfast.
Timmy G!
Good morning to you, Timmy.
Good morning, Will and Lucy. Yes, I tell you what, selection has been unbelievable. Port Adelaide, of course, 6 changes have been made, and Adelaide Crows, a couple of surprise outs there as well. But I think, for me, the biggest out is in the reserve bank. Philip Lowe, that's unbelievable. Omitted.
I don't know. I'm not sure that one's as surprising as some of the Port ones are, Timmy. That one may have been coming. I tell you, there's injuries. Charlie Dixon's injured. Jason Francis is back sore, as I understand. Trent McKenzie, we saw, avoided the worst of what that injury could have been, or at least looked like in the first instance. So there were some forced changes. Junior Rowley, of course, he's got his personal issue that he's dealing with at the moment, and we wish him all the best. But the one that blows my mind, does Ken Inkley just not like Ryan Burton, Timmy?
That absolutely shocked me. Came through late last night, about 5 to 6, when we were on the show, of course, and I just read it out and went, Burton omitted, Burton omitted, Burton omitted. It was like the AI got stuck, and I just...
Yes, Timmy, Burton is omitted, yes.
I was just stunned because, look, earlier in the year he did get dropped, and it was probably, and even the selectors sort of said, well, we take a bit of blame for that because we had to throw him up forward and then throw him back and probably mucked around with his continuity. But this time he was back in his slot and playing what I thought was good football. But the only thing I can think of, is there something behind it as far as, well, here is an opportunity perhaps to freshen him up. Now, if that's the case, you go, okay, fair enough. But I'm yet to hear that from many of the coaches to say, no, he was just omitted on form, because that one definitely has surprised me, especially with McKenzie being out. And as much as Tom Jonas, the skipper, comes back in, you think that's a 1-for-1. They don't play like each other. They actually play a little bit differently. So it's going to be an interesting matchup against what is an informed Carlton forward line now with the two big guns in Mackay and Curnow playing really good footy. So a massive surprise for Port. I'm pleased that Lysette's back. Hopefully that knee's all right, because that really does help us in the middle with that experience, which we've lacked when he's out. But it's just such a big shock down back.
It's interesting the philosophies between the two sides. The Crows make two changes. Ned McHenry's yo-yoed in and out of the side, so that's less surprising. The number one, the big omission, the only what I would call true omission in the sense of someone who's played every game, is Jake Saligo. He has struggled for form. We said it during the call this week. Too many games where you get to half-time and see Jake has had 2 touches. And I would just about me, of all the Crows young guys, I think he's as talented as they come. I love Jake Saligo. I think he's fantastic. But he's the only one who's borne the brunt of it. And there are a lot of Crows fans, Tim, I don't know what they were saying to the sports show, but I read it online saying, well, could we be a bit more like Port Adelaide, have won 13 in a row and seen fit to make 3 omissions and not rest on laurels? What do you read? Does Port just have more depth? Does Ken have more luxury to make changes? Does it go to the philosophy of the two coaches? What do you see in the contrast between the selection approach of Port Adelaide and the Crows?
The Crows have performed well at sample level, so they're third in the comp. I think the only team that scored more points than them is Glenelg, and they're flying. So I think the depth is in a much healthier space for Adelaide, definitely. So that's there. It's just the fact that they still have an enormous amount of players underneath 100 games and underneath 50 games. So Saligo's one of those, and they held on too long with him and gave Jake maybe too many passes to sort of say, yeah, we'll just see how it goes next week. So sometimes that can happen, and it does happen with those younger players, and getting that right and the timing of that is sometimes difficult, because Adelaide are just so weighted with their 4 guys over 200, with Rory Sloane playing his 250th just not long after Tex. But then you've got this big gap, and then, everybody's under 100 and a lot under 50. So managing that, I heard Rowie during the week say, well, I'm hearing changes, and he started rattling off guys that he knows are sore. And I was like, he's going Rochelle, he's going Murray, and I'm going, wow, there are a lot of names there. And that's probably has sort of taken its toll a bit, and you've probably seen it in their performances. Now, whether they can get this mix right this week and bounce back, because GWS have found some form. They've won 5 out of 6, and they tough it out to the end. So I think it's going to be a tough one, but I'd like to think that we're going to see a performance not unlike the one against West Coast, where they really do respect the 250th milestone and are able to lift it home and get a really good win from. But you mentioned Ned McHenry. I think it may be a 7th time. If he's sub, that'll be the 7th time this season. So he's probably made a rod for his back because he's so good at doing it.
Yeah, he absolutely has. Tim, you got a prediction for us?
Oh, look, I have, mate. Terrible to hear Nanny Fine. Obviously, she's on the Winnie Blues, about 80 a day by the sounds of that voice. She's I thought she was going to be in the Fast and Furious movie. She was that angry. But because of that strike, it's terrible. But the new movie Step Brothers 2 is the replacements of Philip Lowe and Stuart Dew. So, we're struggling, aren't we?
Well, actually, I might watch that. Good on you, Timmy.
See you guys.
Thank you, Timmy, G and Rowie. Tonight from 4 o'clock.
Could you survive 21 days on the run?
Catch us if you can.
I'm after you. Hunted starts 7:30 Monday on 10 and 10 Play.
If you need a window, and not just anything will do, just call Statesman Windows. Factory direct to you.
Nobody beats Statesman Windows, not on quality and certainly not on service. Windows, sliding doors, bifolds and more, made right here in Adelaide, factory direct to you. For windows when and where you want them, call Statesman Windows, states.com.au.
Windows when and where you want them. Windows when and where you want them.
For nearly 40 years, no one has done certified used cars quite like Steinborner Automotive, with dedicated yards including SA's best range of commercials loaded and ready to go, including SA's only dedicated small car and SUV centre, and SA's only large SUV and 4x4 centre suited for any lifestyle. Steinborner still also has the best range of Commodores, from ZBs to the collectibles. View all late model used vehicles at steinborner.com.au. Steinborner Automotive. It's well worth a trip.
Good pals are hard to find, but at Parafield Airport Liquor Store, hard to find is our specialty. Whether you're after old reliable pals or want some new pals, Sam, Jamie and the team know just the pals for you. They've made pals with over 200 gins, over 300 craft beers, over 500 whiskies from around the world, and over 2,000 wines. Parafield Airport Liquor Store, Pals, open till late 7 days. Next to Roulette's Tavern, Kings Road, Parafield.
Get a read on a world of content with The Advertiser. One subscription that supercharges your news and entertainment experience. Access everything from breaking news to cost of living, sport and more. Search The Advertiser offer today. We're for you.
FIVEAA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to FIVEAA on Facebook or YouTube.
This is Adelaide's FIVEAA.
Mostly sunny and 17 with the 7:30 news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
Looking for the perfect winter exercise? Physio Extra offers clinical Pilates at 6 locations. physioextra.com.
RBA Governor Philip Lowe will not be reappointed. Multiple sources are reporting his 7-year term, which expires in September, won't be renewed. Cabinet's considering a number of potential replacements. An opposition leader, Peter Dutton, says the person must be free from pre-existing ties.
So you can't have somebody who is tainted by an association or a friendship, or have worked very closely with the Treasurer, the Finance Minister and the Prime Minister. So it has to be somebody who's independent and will work to support the government.
National Australia Bank employees have been granted the right to work from home and a 17.5% pay increase over the next 4 years in a landmark deal. The bank's 25,000 employees will also be able to appeal unreasonable refusals to work from home requests. The Commonwealth Bank remains in a standoff with its staff over a return to work order. 4 girls aged 14 and 15 are being held in detention after allegedly threatening a female Uber driver at knife point and stealing her car early yesterday morning. Police are still looking for a 5th teenager. The drama began at Windsor Gardens and ended at Norwood when the stolen Lexus sideswiped several cars and then crashed. The girls are being detained while reports are prepared on the suitability of their homes for bail. And a drunk driver's walked away with only minor injuries after losing control and crashing into a tree at Semaphore Park this morning. It happened on Bartley Terrace just before 4 a.m. The car hitting a curb and becoming airborne before hitting the tree. It then burst into flames. The 21-year-old driver from Westlake Shore managed to escape. He returned a positive breath test of 0.149 and was taken to the RAH for treatment of minor injuries. His car was towed from the scene. Hollywood actors have gone on strike after talks between their union and major studios and streaming giants broke down. Writers stopped work weeks ago. Oscar winner Matt Damon, who left a premiere of his movie Oppenheimer, says the acting community is now prepared to join them.
$26,000 a year is what you have to make to get your health insurance, and there are a lot of people who residual payments are what carry them across that threshold, and if those residual payments dry up, so does their health care, and that's absolutely unacceptable.
Voting's now open for the 2023 Australian Mammal of the Year. Last year, a tiny endangered bat took out the prize, outvoting the dingo in the final. Cosmos magazine editor Gail McCallum says the competition's a great way to learn more about our native species.
We don't stop to think how absolutely special they are and how they exist nowhere else in the world. So it's a really important time to celebrate them, learn about them and think about them. I certainly spend this 3 months looking around my neighbourhood in an entirely different way as a result of thinking about these extraordinary animals.
And Vegemite celebrating its 100th birthday with a brand new look. Commemorative jars are landing in supermarkets today with 3 designs to collect. Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Get 10-year warranty and 10 years capped price servicing on the new Mitsubishi Outlander at Agostino Mitsubishi.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Port Adelaide has made a massive 6 changes for tomorrow's twilight clash against Carlton at Marvel Stadium. Charlie Dixon has pulled up sore after his 200th. Trent McKenzie has an ankle injury, while Jason Horne-Francis is managing some mild back soreness. The Crows, meantime, have dropped Jake Saligo and Ned McHenry, with Jordan Butts and Shane McAdam back to face GWS. Well, Sydney has kept their finals chances alive after claiming a nail-biting 2-point win over the Western Bulldogs at the SCG. Swans coach John Longmire, who is marking his 300th game in charge, says the team played fierce footy.
They were flicking the ball around a fair bit in that first term, and when we shut that down, and that proofful play, when we shut that down and then started to really hook in that second quarter and play, wasn't flash footy, wasn't, sexy footy, but except from my perspective, I thought it was absolutely beautiful footy.
I love it. Tonight, Melbourne meets Brisbane at the MCG. Melbourne has recalled Jacob Van Rooyen, with Brodie Grundy dropped. Well, a record crowd will turn out to watch the Matildas against France in Melbourne tonight in their final warm-up match for the Women's World Cup. The clash has sold out the 53,000-seat Marvel Stadium. The record attendance for a Matildas game is currently 36,000. Former Socceroo Craig Foster has told Today it's a fitting curtain raiser for the biggest women's sporting event on the planet.
We expect, over 1.5 billion people around the world to be watching it, and they've come in really good form. A few injuries in the squad and the like, but you've got Sam Kerr performing brilliantly. Squad looks great in camp. They're happy.
Yeah, can't wait for it. That is the 5AA Sport.
Now checking 5AA traffic.
Good morning. Got a smash to look out for at Ashford today. Anzac Highway South Road. Got delays both directions there at the moment. Urbray, water on the road, Glen Osborne Road near Port Rush Road. Keep that in mind on the drive in. Getting busy South Road, Edwardstown due to work. Speeds at 40 just in front of Bunnings there. And look out for cameras today. Wright Road, Ingle Farm, and Ways Road at Manningham. In winter, nothing beats a hot sausage roll for lunch. At OTR, you can get 2 for just $6. Traditional cheese and bacon and spinach and cheese. OTR, making life easy. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Pack away the bikinis and boardies, pull out the woolies, and get your brakes checked at Automasters.
Mostly sunny, a top of 17. Showers tomorrow down to 14. Mostly sunny for Sunday, 15, and sunny on Monday, 16. At the moment, 10. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Live from the Adelaide Central Market, you're listening to 5AA Breakfast. Will Goodies and Lucy Loken.
Test drive the Cherry Emoda 5 at Cherry Glen Osmond from 33k drive away with immediate delivery. Go Cherry.
7:37 on this 14th of July. It is Bastille Day, of course, La Fête Nationale, French National Day. It's a very important day in France's history. I'm getting so excited about it. I'm butchering all my words, but I'm thrilled to be down here at Central Markets with you, Will. And we are joined by Commercial Manager of the Central Markets, Fabienne Riley. Good morning, Fabienne.
Bonjour.
Bonjour. Now, in your role, this has got to be the best day for you, and being French.
Yeah.
How excited are you today?
It's exciting. I feel a bit patriotic, but also I'm just looking forward to, a lot of people coming in, and lots of a feeling of partying.
What's on the agenda this morning? Lots of people are in here before work getting coffees and breakfast, but what kinds of things can they see this morning when they come in?
Yes, well, today, in the morning, people are preparing, and we'll soon have live music and accordion, and Louise Blackwell is coming today and tomorrow as well. She's a fabulous singer, sings in French with, soul and lots of heart. Going to have a crepe bar, a champagne bar as well, a croquembouche cooking demonstration.
Wow.
So, Le Cordon Bleu, so it's all happening. And also, of course, we've got lots happening for the kids as well, for the families.
What brought you to Australia, Fabienne?
Love. Yeah, I married an Australian, Adelaide little bloke.
Well, they say France is the place of love, and yet you surrendered your beloved country to come here.
Well, he came and chased me in France first, and then convinced me to come to Australia, because what a better place to raise children and family life.
So, France is the culinary capital of the world. So much of the cooking traditions are owed to French cuisine and French cooking. Is there anything like the Adelaide Central Markets in France? Does it have a European feel to it at all, or is it something unique, do you think?
Yeah, I think that's one thing that Adelaide people do so well is they love the good life. And France, I think the part of celebrating Bastille Day here is about the good life. And Adelaide Central Market has all of that. It's got the good food, it's got good music, it's got a great community sense of belonging.
Yep.
And so I love, it's a perfect place to celebrate.
Now, you've come armed with some goodies this morning. We've got a pain au chocolat, a pain au raisin, and an almond croissant.
Well done.
How do you say that in French? Almond croissant? Croissant d'almond?
Yeah, perfect.
Where can we find these in the market? Where's our favourite French stalls?
All these are coming from Les Deux Coqs. Les Deux Coqs. But you can find other patisseries, in many other areas, stalls today, particularly.
What's the traditional French way to celebrate Bastille Day? What would French people be doing today?
So in the evenings, we'd go and see fireworks. When I was little, my parents forced me to wear flag colours, so blue, white and red, and we'd have picnics and good food, pâtés and picnic food, and then we would dance and lots of live music, lots of dancing. Yeah.
When you celebrate Australia Day here, if you do, with your family, do you feel that it's quite a different type of celebration to France? Like, is Bastille Day and Australia Day on par in any way?
Oh, well, it's not, doesn't have the national level of it, but certainly in the market it feels very similar.
Yes.
It feels like home a little bit, yeah, apart from the fireworks.
Yeah, well, no, we don't have fireworks in January because, of course, the bushfire hazard, which I don't think they have in France this time of year, of course.
Well, did you happen to hear Lucy speaking French earlier in the program?
I haven't, but Lucy, come on, it's...
No.
Well, that's very French.
Yeah, no.
Here we go.
She's very good, but she gets very shy.
Yeah, I've got no words. No words. You put me on the spot.
Another time.
I made the observation to you off air, Fabienne, that we come here typically and do a broadcast from the Central Market ahead of big holidays, Easter, Christmas and other times, to try and capture when it's really busy. It doesn't feel dissimilar to that right now. Is this just normal Friday trade, or is it...
Friday is always busy, but certainly for Bastille Day, we are expecting a lot more people.
Right.
It's just, it's that good life celebration that I was talking about before. I think people know that it's going to be the place to be.
What's your go-to cheese?
Probably a nice Roquefort. If I feel daring. At the moment today, there's Smelly Cheese will do a tartiflette, which is one of my favourite dish. It's a potato cheese, but it's a cheese from the mountain where I grew up.
Oh, wow.
So, and bacon, and it's melted. It's just delicious.
Sounds superb.
Go and try it.
So if people want to have a look at the program for this weekend, where's the best way to go?
Go on our website. You'll find all the information here, and once you're in the market, customer desk is probably the best place.
Excellent. Now, we have been chatting national anthems this morning. What do you think of the Australian national anthem compared to the French? Because we agree that La Marseillaise is better than our own.
Yeah,
what do you
think? Jealous.
Music-wise, definitely the French is nailing it. But the French words are awful and...
It's a war song, isn't it? Whereas Australia's is a bit more uplifting, I think.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an interesting...
Yeah, it's all about killing and it's terrible when, at least Australian is...
Celebration,
nice
yeah. Well, we are celebrating today France's National Day, La Fête Nationale, of course, here at the Central Markets. Thank you for your time, Fabienne.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup. Happy Bastille Day to you and all our fellow Francophiles here in SA. Please pop down to the Central Markets today and tomorrow. It is 7:43 in the coffee shops and the patisseries and, all of the food vendors, really. You can buy some free-range eggs over here at Vegas Poultry. Providore chocolate and sweets. The chocolate fondue fountain is in full swing, and, of course, all your fresh fruit and veg right through today and tomorrow. Pop in from 7 a.m. tomorrow. Get all your local goodies. Shall we get to some text, Will, on the Dutton text?
Yeah,
Dutton's text line. We're asking for a range of things this morning, whatever's on your mind, 0448 08 1395. But we had a little bit of audio earlier about the brawl in the Kosovo Parliament overnight. A member of the opposition threw a glass of water over the Kosovian Prime Minister. Ian says a few years ago one of our Labor men got a smack around the head with a rolled up newspaper in a restaurant. Yeah, I believe that was Mike Rann, Ian.
Wine State Magazine, best advertising they ever got.
That's right.
Yeah, outside Parliament, I suppose. Not quite what we witnessed in Kosovo overnight.
Scott in Modbury says, having Yugoslavian heritage, I can testify we're a passionate lot. Not that I justify the brawl, but it would never happen in Australian Parliament for the simple fact that they don't care about anything enough to put it all on the line.
To some extent, I agree, Scott. I think the stakes are just lower in Australian politics, and that's a good thing. That said, today there is a big Australian political story that has broken in the last 40 minutes on the show, and that is that the Reserve Bank Governor, Philip Lowe, will not have his term extended. It will expire in September of this year. His replacement is yet to be announced. That will be decided at a meeting of Cabinet that will be going on shortly in Canberra. There will be an announcement made in the next few hours about the next Reserve Bank Governor, and you'll hear it as it's announced on 5AA.
That is the Duttons text line, of course. Volkswagen Tiguan All-Space, the 7-seater that's perfect for weekends away, camping trips and the crazy Saturday sports rush. We will check your traffic in a moment, but after the break we do have John Blake's skit of the morning, his song wrap-up of the week, and we will take some more of your Meat Tray Friday calls. 8223 0000 Meat Tray today. All thanks, of course, to the Central Markets. Mike and Kim at Meat at the Market. They are at Stall 15, so pop in and see them this weekend. But let's check your traffic.
Thanks, Lucy. We've got a smash to look out for this morning at Ashford, South Road and Anzac Highway. Pretty solid delays there at the moment. Everybody's got water over the road, Glen Osborne Road near Portrush Road. Quite slow, Port Wakefield Road at Parafield Gardens. Busy South Road at Edwardstown due to work, speeds at 40 just near Bunnings, with cameras on the drive-in today. Main North Road, Smithfield and Martins Road at Salisbury Plains. Right now at 40 Winks, get any size mattress at the price of a single, plus earn double Qantas points. Limited time only. Exclusions and T&Cs apply. 40 Winks, serious about sleep. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
If you need to fix your pipes, call Precise. Call Precise. If your toilet's blocking up, call Precise. Call Precise. If your lights aren't turning on, or your hot water is gone, or a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Precise.
Precise Plumbing and Electrical. Call 1300 700 200. That's 1300 700 200. Precise Plumbing and Electrical. We're helping life flow.
For a plumber or an electrician, call Precise. Call Precise.
G'day, it's Baz from Fleurieu Milk Company. Just wanted to let you know that we're doing all we can to get behind our local dairy farmers. They've been doing it tough for a long time. Remember, when you buy Fleurieu Milk Company products, you're making a difference. So keep up the good work, SA. Look for Fleurieu Milk Company products in your supermarket. 3 words make all the difference. Fleurieu Milk Company. South Australian first and proud of it.
As we all know, SA is going through a housing crisis right now, but McGain Real Estate really want to help. If you're a landlord looking to sell your property, but you're feeling a bit guilty about disrupting an awesome tenant, McGain have landlords ready to purchase your property and keep that tenant in place. The team at McGain have hundreds of landlords ready to buy investment properties, so there's no need to stress about asking the tenant to move out or waiting for the lease to end. Visit mcgain.com.au.
If you thought it was tricky to source a great deal on a new Volkswagen, think again. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen's demo clearance is on now. We've loaded up on a massive range of demo Volkswagens available for delivery right now. Loads of colours, loads of options, plus on-site finance options available. And remember, we offer next-day servicing too. So hurry, the Volkswagen demo clearance won't last. Mawson Lakes Volkswagen, Salisbury Highway, just a short drive from the city.
How far would you go for your dream kitchen? And how far would you go to get 25% off? How about 15 minutes up the freeway to Balhanna Kitchens by Design, to the largest showroom in the Adelaide Hills? Custom build your dream with our award-winning designers and get 25% off your cabinets with laminate bench tops, for a limited time of course. Balhanna Kitchens by Design. It's not too far to go to make your dream a reality. balhannakitchens.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
Live from the Adelaide Central Market.
You're listening to 5AA Breakfast.
Will Goodings and Lucy Loken.
The Cherry Amoda 5. State-of-the-art driving from 33k drive away with immediate delivery. Visit Cherry Glen Osmond.
John Blake's song wrap-up of the week coming up very, very shortly, but time to get to some Meat Tray Friday calls. Will?
That's right, Meat Tray Friday, thanks to Meat at the Market. You can see them stall 15 right by the middle escalators. We've been asking you about anthems this morning. What's the best? Or if you don't like that question, you can tell us how we can improve the Australian anthem. You've got a better idea for us? Give us a call and let us know you'll be in the running to win a meat tray. Let's start with Andrew in Prospect. Andrew, good morning.
Oh, yes, good morning. Yeah, I'm just thinking outside the square a little bit. I like a song that really underpins the Australian value of us helping each other, and it's Somewhere Only We Know.
Because that is the most unusual, not an unusual song. I mean, I think a lot of people would recognise this tune. But I don't mind the idea of thinking completely outside the box for some non-purpose made tune that celebrates Australia that doesn't overtly mention it. Right. Andrew, bonus points for going a little bit weird on us. Thank you. Let's go to Sue in Christie's Beach. What's your suggestion, Sue?
Good morning, guys. You actually caught me doing something very Australian today. I'm bringing in my bin and my neighbour's rubbish bin.
Oh, look at you, Sue.
Yeah,
you're a pillar of the community.
He's an old fella. Okay, no, my song for the national anthem is a beautiful song, and it gives me goosebumps every time I hear it. It's the Seekers' I Am, You Are, We Are Australian, and it's so inclusive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are many, and from all the lands on earth we come.
And I think, too, if the moment it starts playing, everyone listening can sing along, that earns you bonus points as a potential anthem.
And something we both did, Will, was we immediately started swaying.
Yeah, that's a good sign. I think you want to sway to your anthem. Sam Dado, this is his choice for the anthem too. So you've got some support on the voting panel for Meat Tray Friday there. Steve in Seaview Downs, good morning.
Yeah, good morning, Lucy. Well, that lady's just stole some thunder, because my view is that we are a very multicultural country. And the words when Bruce Woody wrote that song, and the lyrics, we are one but we are many. And the other one is we are Australian. That encapsulates exactly what the country stands for. So that's my nomination as well, guys.
It's a strong one, Steve. You make some great points on it as well. And look, maybe we've been lobbied by Sam Dado so much, but I'm really coming around on the Seekers option. I think there's something in that.
Yeah, for sure. It's a beautiful song. It represents everybody. And as I said, we're mighty comfortable, but when the words come out, we are one but we are many, that really enhances that.
Thank you, Steve. The other thing it does, the really difficult category, I said earlier, it needs to be able to be something that's sung as a celebration and at sad occasions. I reckon that song actually achieves that. It's that can be fairly difficult. I think back in Hindmarsh Square, Rennie's got one for us. He's wandered into the studio. Makes me wonder if he's going to sing it. Morning, Rennie.
Well, no, I won't do that to you. I don't want to make your ears bleed, Will. But for me, this is the best song. I think that it always brings a tear to my eye. I would love for this to be our anthem.
Someday we'll
all be
together once more. You encourage me, Will. When all of the ships come back to the shore, I realize something I've always known.
Go on, Rennie.
Oh, what a beautiful song, hey?
It's a beautiful song. It's a great suggestion. I actually thought, Rennie, when I heard you were back in the studio with some music ready, it being Bastille Day, you were going to celebrate the spirit of French Revolution by singing us something from Les Mis.
Actually, I wouldn't mind a bit of Red and Black, maybe, or a bit of...
Yeah, do you hear the people sing? Yeah.
Rennie, I thought you were going to go with your favourite karaoke tune, Gloria.
Yeah, a bit of Laura Branigan as well. We could get them all going loose. In fact, 8 till 9, we're just going to take karaoke requests.
It says a bit about Rennie that within 3 seconds we all rattled off 5 songs we've heard Rennie sing live in person.
Hey,
before.
Rennie, Daniel on the Foodland Supermarkets live stream also agrees with you. I still call Australia home. It would be Daniel's favourite as well as you.
boy,
Thank you,
Daniel.
Rennie.
Thank you, great work.
Anthony's called in. Morning, Anthony.
Good morning. Did you know that the lyrics of Advanced Australia Fair actually match Jimmy Barnes' Working Class Man?
Australians, all let us rejoice. For we are young and free. With golden soil and well-fed soil, our home is good by sea.
Adam Hills has to be one of my favourite comedians.
I've not heard that
I think
before.
that is excellent.
I think I like that better than the actual version.
Yeah.
Can we get that done? Anthony, thank you. That's a great suggestion for the meat tray. Keep them coming in, 8223 0000, or text us on the Duttons text line.
It is time for our song wrap-up of the week with John Blake, Aussie Fast Transport Solutions, Interstate Freight Distribution, Warehousing and Local Adelaide Couriers. Call Aussie Fast on 13 13 64.
Yes, good morning. Kind of appropriate that we're down here at the Central Markets because our songs are food-related. First of all, we heard this week that Tunarama at Port Lincoln won't be on next year, and it's pretty much gone. No more Tunarama. Can't chuck a tuna once a year. What's the world coming to? Choose the place for fun you'd like to say you've done. Down by the sea you'd run and throw fish at someone. Tunarama. Tunarama. And why would you not want to try to make a giant tuna fly? A big fish up in the sky. Tunarama. Tunarama. And why would you think that it's nuts to get all covered in fish guts and scales and blood and grab a Tunarama? Tunarama. For 60 years people came across to Port Lincoln for a giant tuna toss, and you now know the reason you were born, and that's to win the grand prize for peeling prawns at Tunarama. 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 Yes, goodbye, Tunarama. Also, this week we heard that the phasing out of caged egg production will bump up egg prices to about $15 a dozen. But aren't we prepared to pay that for stopping cruelty to chooks? Or just get your own chooks? Now listen to me, people. Our chooks like to roam. And they don't like to think of a cage as their home. So even if the price of eggs makes us all moan, the dignity of chooks is worth saving. It's cruelty, no doubt, always pushing one out. For it's time the chooks were free range. Now it's time we stood up and made something else work, so the chickens can roam and go pluck, pluck, buckirk. And when they lay eggs, they'll be happy and free. And it won't be so awfully degrading. And we'll know when we buy them we're not being cruel. For it's time the chooks were free ranging.
Very apt by John Blake there this morning.
The people that are the advocates for free-range chooks need to buy that from John Blake. They make that their anthem. I think they'll get this thing phased in within 3 years. Certainly, I'm ready to change my position. I'll pay whatever it takes to hear more Bob Dylan.
That was excellent. That'll be up on our Facebook page later for those who want to hear more about not only the chooks but the Tunarama disappearing from Port Lincoln's shores after 60 years this week. All thanks to John Blake. We'll hear more from him with Behind Closed Doors after 8:30. We are down here at the Central Markets this morning till 9 o'clock celebrating Bastille Day. Please come down and see us, say hello, grab a coffee, grab a croissant or a baguette and some breakfast. Coming up after 8:30, Orazio Fantasia from Port Adelaide will join us here at the markets and Feedback Friday. If you've been watching the news this week, you'll have a chance to play Feedback Friday. But up next is the 8 o'clock news with Kendall.
You've decided to build? It's exciting stuff. When you've found land, it's a good idea to get advice on what you can build on your new parcel of paradise. Get Steve from Beechwood Homes to take a look. There's no obligation, and you'll get a great understanding of what's possible. Sloping block, flat block, weird shaped block, or block on a cliff. Speak with Steve from Beechwood Homes for all the possibilities. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home. Google Beechwood Adelaide.
This month, all kids 14 and under get to go to the footy for free.
What about that?
That's all games between rounds 16 and 19 of the 2023 Toyota AFL Premiership season. From selfies to screamers and tasty treats.
Spectacular!
Make it an awesome day for the family with a day out at the footy. Kids go free rounds 16 to 19.
Boy, oh boy, wow,
Go to afl.com.au/kidsmonth. Terms and conditions apply, subject to capacity and availability.
Hey everyone, it's Adam Goods here, one of the National Tree Day ambassadors. National Tree Day is important for country because those incredible native trees bring back our beautiful wildlife to our communities. It's an opportunity for us to learn from each other, to plant new natives into our community and understand the importance of planting trees. Join Planet Ark and Toyota this National Tree Day, Sunday, 30th of July. Find out more at treeday.planetark.org.
Online, on DAB Digital Radio and on 1395 AM. Talking Adelaide. This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Mostly sunny and 17. With the 8 o'clock news, I'm Kendall Brettig.
Woken with a stiff neck or sore back? Get a Physio Extra appointment today. 6 locations. physioextra.com.
Federal Cabinet will meet this morning to sign off on a new Reserve Bank governor, with Philip Lowe's tenure to end. More from Liz Daniels.
It's one of the biggest appointments the government will make, a call on who leads the Reserve Bank in tumultuous economic times. Philip Lowe's term expires in September and Nine News understands it will not be renewed. Contenders for the replacement include Treasury Secretary Stephen Kennedy, Finance Department boss Jenny Wilkinson and current RBA Deputy Governor Michelle Bullock. Opposition leader Peter Dutton says the two current public servants should be ruled out in the interests of keeping the Reserve Bank independent. The Treasurer will take his recommendation to a Cabinet meeting this morning.
Cost of living concerns are front of mind for voters, according to latest polling. An Ipsos survey shows 70% of respondents have selected it as one of three major issues in the country, ahead of housing and the economy and climate change. 4 teenage girls have spent the night in detention after holding up an Uber driver at knife point and stealing her car. More from David Bruce.
It's been claimed the girls, all aged 14 or 15, pulled a knife on the driver on North East Road at Windsor Gardens around 3 yesterday morning and then took her Lexus on a joyride, sideswiping several parked cars at Norwood before crashing the car on Sydenham Road and making a run for it. The police helicopter and a police dog helped track them down. One girl is still on the run. The other 4 all appeared in the Adelaide Youth Court yesterday afternoon, where it was ordered that they be held in detention while reports are prepared on the suitability of their homes for bail. The 25-year-old Uber driver was naturally shaken up by the ordeal, but she wasn't physically injured.
A learner rider has been reported for extreme speed after being caught in Evanston South last night. The motorbike rider was clocked doing 176 k's in a 90 zone on Main North Road just after 8 p.m. The 24-year-old man's had his motorcycle impounded and his licence disqualified for 12 months. He's been reported for aggravated extreme speed, riding unregistered and uninsured and breaching his learner licence conditions. He'll face court at a later date. Police are on high alert in Paris with the stage set for Bastille Day celebrations. Stephanie Wocklowic's there.
The streets have been quiet of rioters for almost 2 weeks, but extra security has been mobilised with the concern just as high that troublemakers could mar France's National Day.
There will be extra more security all around. We all want safe
not want problems.
After a week of daily morning rehearsals, a parade will wind along l'Avenue des Champs-Élysées in the heart of Paris, with President Emmanuel Macron shutting down most of the city. 130,000 police have been deployed, with officers and the military stationed almost every 500 metres. The Air Wing and specialist police units are also on standby. Fireworks went off at midnight to officially mark the start of celebrations, but the sale and the use of fireworks by anyone else has been banned after pyrotechnics were weaponised during last month's protests.
Actors in the US are going on strike, effectively shutting down Hollywood. The move stops all production of film and TV in the US except for independent productions. Screen Actors Guild President Fran Drescher says it's an action they didn't want to take.
It's a very serious thing that impacts thousands, if not millions of people all across this country and around the world.
And researchers believe climate change is likely behind a colour change satellites have picked up in our oceans over the past 20 years. They're too subtle to be seen by the human eye, but have occurred in over 56% of oceans. Now turning to FIVEAA Sport.
Get 10-year warranty and 10 years capped price servicing on the new Mitsubishi Outlander at Agostino Mitsubishi.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Adelaide defender Brodie Smith says he doesn't expect too many players to be rested and managed through the back part of the season. There has been talk some younger players are starting to feel the pinch, and Smith has told Rowie and Timmy G, whilst that is an issue, it's something that can be worked through.
I think it'll be more guys getting rested throughout the week, so main training sessions and stuff like that rather than games, and hopefully we can keep them nice and fresh and playing good footy.
The Crows have made 2 changes for tomorrow night's clash against GWS, with Jordan Butts and Shane McAdam back in the side. They come in at the expense of Jake Saligo and Ned McHenry, who've been dropped. Meantime, Port Adelaide has also made some big calls, with Ryan Burton dropped for the second time this season. He's one of 6 changes to the side to face Carlton at Marvel Stadium tomorrow afternoon, with skipper Tom Jonas back in the side along with Xavier Dersma, while Charlie Dixon, Trent McKenzie and Jason Horne-Francis are all out injured. And there was one game last night with Sydney 2-point winners against the Western Bulldogs. Let's go to tennis, and the women's Wimbledon finalists have been decided, with Ons Jabeur set to take on Marketa Vondrousova in the final after both won their semis overnight. A bit of cricket action on, and India is well on top in its test match against the West Indies in Roseau. India well on top at stumps on day 2, reaching 2 for 312. That's in reply to the Windies' first innings total of just 150. Meantime, the ICC has announced equal prize money for all of its international men's and women's events. And Yona Zagare has won stage 12 of the Tour de France after a solo push in the final 30 kilometres. Got it right that time, Kendall. That is the FIVEAA Sport.
Great work, Tom. Much better than your first attempt. Now check FIVEAA traffic.
Good morning. Roads are looking pretty good for the drive-in. Always nice on a Friday. Simply some water over the road to look out for at Urbray, Glen Osmond Road near Port Rush Road. We're busy Port Wakefield Road at Parafield Gardens. Slow South Road at Edwardstown for work. Speeds at 40. Got 2 lanes out of action this morning on the North-South Motorway at Francis Road. That's at Winkfield. Speeds at 40. And we've got cameras too. Midway Road, Elizabeth Downs. And Phillip Highway at Elizabeth South. Harris Scarf's 4-day Friends exclusive doorbuster sale ends this Sunday with 50% off selected homewares, quilts, pillows, sheets and more. Harris Scarf, great brands, great prices. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on FIVEAA.
Pack away the boardies and bikinis, pull out the Uggies and get your brakes checked at Automasters.
A mostly sunny day, a top of 17. Showers tomorrow down to 14. Mostly sunny Sunday 15 and sunny for Monday 16. At the moment 10. More news as it happens on FIVEAA.
Live from the Adelaide Central Market, you're listening to FIVEAA Breakfast. Will Goodings and Lucy Loken.
Test drive the Cherry Emoda 5 at Cherry Glen Osmond from 33k drive away with immediate delivery. Go Cherry.
8:07, we are down here for the next hour at the Adelaide Central Market, celebrating all things France, French culture, the French language. To celebrate, of course, Bastille Day, July the 14th, famous day for France, of course, and thrilled Will to be down here celebrating it this morning. So please pop down, grab a coffee, grab some breakfast, and see us here at the Central Markets.
Absolutely, and participate in Meat Tray Friday as well, thanks to Meet at the Markets. 8223 is the number. You can text us on the Duntons text line as well, as we are on the lookout for, well, a couple of nominations. You don't need to do both. It's an either-or situation. You can tell us your favourite national anthem, or indeed improve the Australian one. We're getting some terrific suggestions through on that on the ladder count.
Yeah, we do love La Marseillaise, of course, and someone who knows a lot about La Marseillaise and a wonderful French anthem is our next guest. Pleased to really welcome Valerie Henvest from the Smelly Cheese Co. live to the desk. Good morning to you, Valerie.
Good morning, Lucy. Good morning, Will. Nice to be with you.
It's good to have you here.
I'd just like to congratulate you first, Valerie. You didn't know I knew this. I believe you just received French National Honours this week.
I did.
For services to agriculture.
Yeah, I know. Can you believe that? I wasn't, when I was in France, I wasn't doing anything like that. So I've been here nearly 30 years, which, time's flying when you're having so much fun. I realize I've done a lot to promote and spread the word about French cheese, French wine, French champagne. I mean, twist my arms. I wasn't very hard, but
it's a wonderful achievement. I've got to say, you're working with some pretty good material.
Yes, indeed. And in fact, the material you could work on its own. I think I feel totally redundant, but no. So I'm very humbled and very happy. I'm a chevalier now. So for French people, I mean, the English are very used to this idea that they're going to be knighted if they're lucky. But
is
for the
chevalier,
French,
is that the equivalent?
Yeah, I'm a knight.
Félicitations.
Yeah, you need to,
we should have shown you the proper respect.
Well, yes, I'm a bit disappointed.
Sorry,
not up to scratch. Real sorry.
We're not very good with titles here in Australia.
No,
we struggle with that kind of thing.
You can lift up your game.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's fine.
Next time we'll do better.
Yeah,
thank you.
What's your estimation of Australians' cheese tastes? Are we expansive enough? Are we too limited in the sorts of cheeses we buy as Australians? How do we go?
Oh, look, we could go different ways here, but I think because I've been here so long, I can tell you that the Australian cheese palate has evolved dramatically. And from 25 years ago, for instance, I brought you some cheese, and it's a pity through the radio you can smell, but there is an enormous amount of aromas coming through here. And some of the cheese that are on the board, like the Époisse from Burgundy, there's hardly anybody would have dared putting that in their mouths. Today they do. Australian people, they travel a lot, so they go places, they experience a lot, and then they come back and they expect to find similar things here.
So what would have been the number one purchased cheese 25 years ago when you first started, and what would it be today?
Yeah, so cheddar.
Just cheddar, 25 years ago.
Cheddar.
Gosh, that makes us sound horribly boring, doesn't
it? But look, be careful because I'm French, so, with the English, I don't want to offend any British citizens here. We love cheddar, but of course it was pretty limited 25 years ago, and with a big focus on cheddar, some soft cheeses, but not many. Then you had the big craze about, all this, the d'Argental, the Dauphinois, those double cream thingy. It's still like a huge winner. So when, texture and if it's oozing means it's good and it's luxurious. So today it's more like the luxurious double cream, triple cream type of things. But as I said, the big novelty is all about the wash rind, the serious cheese that really going to stop you in your track. Like you're going to pass me and you're going to stop, wondering whether I had a shower this morning or what did I bring? And so that's the wash run idea, and I love that because that's the type of food you put in your mouth and you have to stop talking and pay attention.
Yes.
So we are getting towards those cheeses, the goat's cheese as well, that were not exactly the prime for lots of people. We do lots of fabulous goat cheese here, but of course the goat cheese from the Loire Valley, they're superb, and now people really recognize that.
Tell us what you've brought to the desk, because you're rattling off some delicious cheeses, and I wonder what you've brought for us this morning.
Well, I was thinking, what would I like to have at home if I had to invite you to my humble abode? And that's more or less what you would find. So, because it's Bastille Day, I brought something that is slightly luxurious. It's a brie that has been cut in half, and in the middle they added some mascarpone and some truffle. Try that, Lucy.
Goodness.
Thank you. Merci beaucoup.
Avec plaisir. So, Will. So it's very, truffle, every time you add truffle, you just add a little bit of, this little luxurious item there. It lifts everything straight away.
That
so
is
it's amazingly aromatic and delicious. We need the champagne. I brought the cheese. Did you bring the champagne, Will?
Yeah, no, I've let you down again. I know. I'm not kicking any goals this morning.
Jeez. So anyway,
you can tell Lucy speaks French. You can tell who the total,
the letdown is.
The total barbarian is. So that's me.
So I got the baguette because I think this requires baguette, not crackers. But that's for another thing. And then I just wanted to also, can you give that to Will? Smell that, Will, and tell me what sort of animal do you smell here?
Something big. I don't know, a horse.
Right. Okay. I've got work to do with you. Will, my God.
What is it? What am
So
I
it's sheep's milk. So it's a small animal, but it's very.
Okay. Lucy
Smell
grew up
again
on a
because
farm
you
too.
smell now. You smell
yes.
you smell the lanolin. You know, it's just when you have those woolly
Yeah, it smells
jumper.
like the Royal Show.
Exactly. In a good way, of
Yeah,
course.
exactly right, in a delicious way.
Yep. So
you mentioned before, and I thought that was really interesting about the difference between when you use bread, when you use lavash or crackers or anything.
Yeah.
What's the rule?
Well, if you're in France, we don't know crackers.
Never.
Never, ever, never.
Baguette.
Yeah, baguette. Baguette or different sort of bread. So we adapt the sort of bread. Like, for instance, with the blue, we would have rye bread with raisin and walnut, something a little bit like fruity to counteract the saltiness of the blue. But I can't wait. Oh, okay, now I said you make the difference between a sheep's milk and a cow's milk. And this one is the Comté, and the Comté is the #1 cheese eaten by France.
This is the best segment we've ever done.
Smell that.
Personally.
He's enjoying himself. That's good. It's good to see. I love to see
I
his
love
face.
cheese. This is fantastic.
So, Comté, do you know how many kilos of cheese I eat per year? Myself.
How many?
Moi.
Did you count? I'd be terrified to know. I
Yeah,
don't want to know the
I mean,
answer.
I probably I'm not your average person
Of
when it
course.
comes to
It's
cheese.
work.
But an average French person would eat over 26 kilos of cheese per year. If,
Wow, so 500 grams a week.
Yeah, good. Wow, he's good. See, he's good. So, but the average Australian, which you're probably not either, eat 12 and a half.
Okay, so we've got some work to do.
Yeah, scope for improvement, and that's why I'm here. And this one, Will, you need to be ready. Lucy, I'm sure you can cope because your French is telling me. C'est l'époisse, époisse de Bourgogne.
Thank you.
So cow's milk made, washed with Burgundy brandy, made by monks in the Burgundy region a long, long time ago. And
that's strong.
It's super strong. So this is the cheese that is.
That's so good.
Do you know it's forbidden to carry an époisse by law in public transport in Paris?
Because of the smell.
Because of the smell.
Wow.
Can you imagine if you had not one but 2 or 3 people in the same carriage were carrying an époisse? Smell that. I mean,
that's
combined
very
in a very, very crowded environment, it would be horrendous. So anyway, by law, it's forbidden.
Wow.
Well, thankfully we don't have that law right here in the central market right now because
Exactly.
it tastes absolutely
Valerie,
magnificent.
thank you so
Yeah.
much for bringing all this cheese.
You're very welcome.
This is incredible, and the bread, and just talking about your love of cheese. You've done wonderful things for not only the people of Adelaide here at the markets, but of course in France. You are, for simple terms, the Dame of France.
Well, yeah,
One of them
okay.
in
Yeah,
the cheese world, in the agriculture world. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. The kids call me Sir Mother. So, Sir Mother.
Sir Mother.
Sir Mother.
Well, Sir Mother, thank you.
Yeah. You're
Next
very welcome.
time you come on, we'll have champagne and show you some respect. I'll kneel.
Okay, I'll try again. I'll give you another chance.
Okay, next year.
Excellent. Thank you.
Merci beaucoup, Valerie.
Merci à vous.
Félicitations for your
Merci
award.
beaucoup, Lucy.
And happy Bastille Day to you and
Happy
your
Bastille
family.
Day, everyone. Thank
so please
you.
get down to the markets today and tomorrow. Markets are open till 9 o'clock. You can pop in and buy some cheese at 9 o'clock from Valerie today, and of course all day tomorrow to celebrate the French National Day. La Fête Nationale, plenty of celebrations down here. Free and both ticketed, so come on down to the markets. We will shortly check traffic coming up after the break. Port Adelaide's Oratio Fantasia's also pop down to the market, and after 8:30 we will do Feedback Friday, but let's check your run in for the morning.
Thanks, Lucy. Good as gold on the roads this morning. No great hassles. However, we do have some water over the road at Airbray, Glen Osmond Road near Port Rush Road. Nothing too bad, but keep it in mind if you're heading that way. We are busy. Port Wakefield Road at Parafield Gardens, slow Muller Road at Greenacres, and we do have 2 lanes out of action this morning at Wingfield. It's on the north-south Mudawinnie Francis Road, speeds at 40. Cameras, Bidman Road, Windsor Gardens, and Saints Road at Salisbury Park. Dreaming of a better mattress? Right now at Freedom, get up to 55% off all mattresses. Hurry, sailing's Monday. Dream big, sleep on. Freedom. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Rowie and Timmy G on the 5AA Sports Show.
Who's your club's Mount Rushmore?
Mount Rushmore, the founding fathers of America.
The 4 key figures of my club. Bob Hammond, Graham Studley-Corns, Chris McDermott and Bill Sanders.
Rowie and Timmy G.
I'm probably going back to Bob Quinn. Bob McLean with Foss on his shoulders. I don't think you can go past John Cole. 14 premierships at Port Adelaide. And then there was a bloke called RFE. But
4 p.m. weekdays on 5AA.
Thinking of getting a solar battery? Well, guess what? They're not getting any cheaper like we thought 10 years ago. But the ability to pay them off is incredibly easier now than it was back then. At NRG Solar, we can help you with 13.5 kilowatt hours of storage, a 10-year warranty, blackout protection, and a battery with an awesome consumption monitoring app. We'll help you enjoy the feeling and the benefits of owning a solar battery sooner. So don't put it off any longer. Visit nrgsolar.com.au today.
Over 60,000 Adelaide homes have said yes to saving money on their energy bills with Yes, Your Energy Saving Solutions. What's keeping you? Your Energy Saving Solutions can connect you with the SA government initiative called REPS. To save money on heating this winter, Yes is offering eligible households a 2.6 kilowatt Rinnai system for only $699. For T's and C's on this unbeatable offer from Your Energy Saving Solutions, go to yes.net.au. That's yes.net.au.
Gentlemen, is the urge to pee all the time getting in the way of your everyday life? Caruso's Pee Less to the rescue. Caruso's Pee Less is a unique herbal formula that relieves urinary frequency and helps support healthy bladder and prostate function. So, if you'd like to pee less, try Caruso's Pee Less today. Caruso's Pee Less is made in Australia and comes with a money-back guarantee. Available from leading pharmacies and health stores. Always read the label and follow the directions for use.
For nearly 40 years, no one has done certified used cars quite like Steinborner Automotive, with dedicated yards including SA's best range of commercials loaded and ready to go, including SA's only dedicated small car and SUV centre, and SA's only large SUV and 4x4 centre suited for any lifestyle. Steinborner still also has the best range of Commodores from ZBs to the collectibles. View all late model used vehicles at steinborner.com.au. Steinborner Automotive. It's well worth the trip.
Know the news with Adelaide's 7 News. Don't miss Adelaide's leading news hour tonight at 6 o'clock.
Live from the Adelaide Central Market, you're listening to 5AA Breakfast. Will Goodings and Lucy Loken.
The Cherry Amoda 5, state-of-the-art driving from 33k drive away with immediate delivery. Visit Cherry Glen Osmond.
8:21 on this Friday, the 14th of July. Port Adelaide taking on Carlton tomorrow afternoon at Marvel Stadium over in Melbourne. Pleased to be joined down here at the desk by Port Adelaide's own Orazio Fantasia, with more stores close to home and everyday low prices. Great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies.
Orazio Fantasia, intercepted almost by Orazio Fantasia. Orazio Fantasia, Orazio Fantasia, Orazio Fantasia, Orazio. Ho, 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 it's
Orazio, happy Bastille Day to you.
Thanks for having me.
I know you're Italian, obviously, but your neighbours just across the border celebrating their National Day today. Thanks for coming down.
No, I love the markets. It's awesome. We were here Wednesday, actually. We took a few of the young boys down from who'd never been here before, the Victorians, and they said, "How good's this?" I said, "Yeah, well, you've never been here, so you can't bag Adelaide." And we took them to Lucia's for a sandwich, and they loved it.
Is that just part of socialising naturally, or as a club do you try and say, you know what, actually show them that Adelaide's a pretty decent place to live? Is it an organised thing at all?
It wasn't from the club. I think they'd be happy though that we brought them through and
doing God's work.
Yeah, exactly. So Riley Bonner, he's a big sandwich man. Loves trying all different sandwiches. Right. So I said we've got to come to Lucia's and try a sandwich, and we brought a few boys with us.
And now, mate, you got through a game of footy on the weekend.
I did, which is awesome. Yeah, so starting to build some fitness. I played a half over the course of, nearly 3/4 of the game across the whole game. And then this week I'll ramp that up a bit more, and then hopefully play a full one, and then hopefully I'm away. So, 2 more weeks of, just some modified loads, and then hopefully I'm good to go.
Biggest story in footy at the moment is that your side's won 13 in a row, and yet Ken's seen fit to swing the changes. Obviously a few injuries in that lot.
Yep.
And Junior Rioli's got his family issues to deal with and so forth, but still in and around that, Ryan Burton, someone who's lost his place. There's 3 other unforced changes in that. Must keep everyone on their toes down at the club.
Yeah, and I think that's what we've said in the 4 walls, that it's the sort of competitive energy that you want. Like you're winning, but if you're not playing well, there's someone in the SANFL playing really well. Jace Burgoyne and Xavier Dersra on the weekend were outstanding. Jackson Mead as well. So they all forced their way in because they're just playing too good a footy.
I think it's clever because, I mean, in part of the conversation we were just having off the air was about long winning streaks.
Yeah.
There's not many longer than 13 games at the moment. It's been incredible. So how do you keep the sense of pressure and immediacy on how you're playing in your role? How do you avoid complacency? Well, one way is to say, hey, no one's
safe.
No one's safe.
Yeah.
And that's clearly it feels that way. Has the concept of complacency been addressed internally? Does it get talked about that you are on this incredible run?
Yeah.
And you can't afford to let up because ultimately it gets to a point in the season where one loss ends the whole thing.
Ends the streak, yeah. We haven't really spoken so much about complacency. We did speak after the weekend's game about just being on for a bit longer. Like the first half we were a little bit off and you saw Gold Coast came out and they were up by a goal and were playing really good footy. And Ken, I think, gave the boys a bit of a rev up and we came out and played a really good second half. So we just spoke about just trying to be on for the whole time, and that's hard to do, but just trying to minimise those lapses of concentration for 5 minutes.
No, you're a big sports fan and footy watcher, broadly speaking, so you'll be familiar with this kind of footy voodoo, as I like to call it, and a lot of fans are starting to feel this way too, or speak about it, I think.
Yeah.
The concept that you need to have a loss at some point.
Yeah.
You need to have a loss to just sort of get it out the way, get the streak done. So you can...
Well, don't jinx it this weekend, Will.
No, I'm not trying to jinx it at all, but I hear it from now to going, almost this concept of fear that what if we went into the finals and we haven't lost a game?
Yeah.
If you heard that, what do you make of that?
I haven't heard that, but I mean, last year Geelong were 5-4 after round 9 and then didn't lose on the way home. So
it's doable.
I think it's somewhat doable. Yeah, you can do it. But I guess I can understand why people would sort of say that. You can get potentially complacent and think, we're going to go just all the way through. So I can understand both sides of that.
You a ladder predictor guy?
I'm not.
Haven't done it? Haven't looked ahead?
Nah. Why? What's the prediction? You got something for me?
I think the prediction's pretty good.
Pretty good?
It's no lower than second, I'll put it that way.
Okay, well, you take that. That's nice. That will give us 2 home finals.
Which is obviously the aim at the moment. Kenny Spray, that you mentioned, a little bit unhappy with the start on the weekend. Where does it rate on the Ken scale? 10 being the biggest you've ever seen?
Yeah. I don't think it was that big. I think it was more a stern talking to, just about, we're getting beaten in the key areas that we want, contested possession. And I think every team wants that in the competition, and we were just down a little bit. So a bit of a rev up, just sort of get back on task sort of thing. And, I think in the second half we were nearly plus 15 in that area, so it was really good.
Absolutely. Last night's game, did you watch?
No, I didn't watch it all.
Oh,
no, I fell asleep. I know, I'm angry. Yeah.
It was an absolute cracker.
For those who tipped Sydney, like me, woke up very happy.
Yeah.
You're happy? Yeah.
Yeah, my footy tips are shocking this year, and I thought, I'm going to back Sydney. I like the Swans, and thankfully, the old sneaky 2-point win.
Got it done.
Where are the Maggies this weekend?
The Maggies at Alberton. We're playing North Adelaide, which is good. They're
Lucy's team.
Yeah.
Yes, sorry, I'm a rooster.
That's okay. They're starting to build some form, so it'll be a good game. But we've also got some outs. We've got 6 players out, obviously with AFL, and then a few injuries. So yeah, it's going to be a tough one for us.
Well, all the best for the weekend. Let's hope that half. Is it a full game this weekend?
A bit more, 3 quarters hopefully.
3 quarters this weekend. We're building at the right time. Exactly. And with the way Kenny's turning over the side, mate, who knows? You pop up anytime.
Could be in.
Exactly right. Go on, your Ratio.
Thanks, Gus.
Ratio Fantasia, all thanks to Foodland Supermarkets with more stores close to home and everyday low prices. Great food lives at Foodland, the mighty South Aussies. Just before we get to our news, we might check on the fuel situation this morning. If you are driving through the city, on your way into the central markets to say hi to us, we'd love to see you. Or if you're out and about and just need some cheaper petrol, we can help you out. All thanks to RAA. All South Aussies can find the cheapest fuel in an instant. Download the free RAA app. Cheapest diesel this morning out at Jeps Cross. Ex-convenient Main North Road at $1.65. If you're in the hills, unleaded, the mobile Mount Barker Road in Bridgewater's $1.69. Henley Beach Road in Torrensville, the ex-convenience $1.61. And cheapest in Adelaide we've seen Hackney, the OTR Hackney Road just by the city there is $1.59. Coming up after the 8:30 news, we will be partaking in a live Feedback Friday here at the Central Markets. Back shortly.
Could you survive 21 days on the run?
Catch us if you can.
Hunted. starts 7:30 Monday on 10 and 10 Play.
A lot of shopping centres are the same. Same predictable shops, same food options. But if you want something new, check out Newton Central. Grab a coffee at JD Brew or a bite at Java Lifestyle Coffee and Tea or dine at Delano's Risotto and Pasta Bar. It's the kind of centre where you can get some retail therapy, do the weekly shop or just relax. Want something new in your life? Choose a new local. Choose Newton Central, Gorge Road, Newton.
Sold by McGain again.
And because there is still limited stock available, it's important to get along to these open inspections.
On Saturday from 1 to 1:30am, Scott McFarlane, 1:30am. I'm guessing that's 1:30pm.
I really hope it's PM.
Yeah, I would think it's PM too. Scott McFarlane and Zach Sproul, that said, they'd work all day, all hours of the day, these two. They're opening 21 Culver Lane, Mount Barker. This stunning townhouse in the Bluestone Estate is directly opposite a leafy green park, complete with tennis courts. Featuring 3 bedrooms, this property provides the ideal balance between urban convenience and country lifestyle. Just $449 to $479K.
And then on Sunday from 11 to 11:30am, that is mid-morning, Zoe Ball and Mike Dobbin are opening 9 The Muse in Seaford. This stunning home offers comfortable living and modern features with 3 spacious bedrooms, a formal lounge, open plan living and dining, heating and cooling, plus a double lock-up garage with drive-through access. That's $575 to $595K.
Take a look at these properties and all the McGain listings at mcgain.com.au.
You've selected your block up on the river. Your mind is buzzing with ideas. This is going to be the best river home ever. Raised high, breezes flowing, great times ahead. But first, you need to walk through the Selector Homes display village and let your design ideas flow. Selector Homes have been creating holiday homes for over 25 years and they are experts in building pole homes. Selector Homes and Building Solutions Display Village, Port Wakefield Road, Burton. Visit selectorhomes.com.au.
5AA Breakfast is streaming live right now. To watch, simply head to 5AA on Facebook or YouTube.
This is Adelaide's 5AA.
Mostly sunny and 17 with the 8:30 news. I'm Kendall Brettig.
Looking for the perfect winter exercise? Physio Extra offers clinical Pilates at 6 locations. physioextra.com.
Philip Lowe will not be reappointed as the RBA Governor after 7 terms in the role. Cabinet's expected to meet this morning to discuss a replacement. The Treasurer has been weighing up his options with Treasury Secretary Stephen Kennedy, Finance Department boss Jenny Wilkinson and current Deputy RBA Governor Michelle Bullock all in the mix. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese says the change will be carefully considered.
We'll make that decision as a Cabinet. One of the things about my government is that it has proper processes. We have co-ord comments from different departments. What Australia wants is an orderly, considered government.
2 cars went up in flames north of Adelaide overnight. The first broke out at Waterloo Corner just after midnight with a Toyota RAV4 destroyed. Senior Constable Rhett Davis says the other was at St Agnes a few hours later.
Police and MFS were called to another car fire at the back of a church on North East Road. Firefighters quickly extinguished the blaze, but the MG sedan was completely destroyed. Police have attempted to get in contact with both the registered owners, but so far have not been able to contact them.
And a car burst into flames after hitting a tree at Semaphore Park early this morning. The Audi lost control on Bartley Terrace, mounting a curb and flying into the tree before bursting into flames. The 21-year-old driver was taken to hospital with minor injuries. He allegedly blew .149 nearly 3 times over the legal limit. Hollywood actors will head to the picket line after they were unable to reach an agreement on a new contract. More from Lauren Tomasi.
Hollywood will shut down from midnight tonight, 160,000 actors walking off the job. It means production on film sets and scripted TV series will halt after negotiations between the major production houses like Netflix, Disney and Amazon, along with the Actors Union, failed. Actors have been calling for increased pay along with raising concerns over AI and digitally generated actors. This marks the first time in more than 6 decades that the industry's 2 biggest unions, actors and writers, have called a dual strike.
There are claims airspace management in Australia has become critically deficient due to frequent shortages of air traffic controllers. A survey by the Australian Federation of Air Pilots found almost a third were experiencing delays every month because of airspace restrictions. On Wednesday, flight movements were again slowed across eastern states due to unplanned leave among air traffic controllers in Brisbane and Sydney. And Qantas customers are being warned to be wary of scam text messages offering bonus frequent flyer points. Mike says it urges the user to click a link to claim 150,000 bonus points.
I logged in, and the next thing I got a message was that a number of marketplace orders had been placed, and I had lost, I checked my balance, and all of a sudden I'd lost 500,000 frequent flyer points.
Now turning to 5AA Sport.
Get 10-year warranty and 10 years capped price servicing on the new Mitsubishi Outlander at Agostino Mitsubishi.
Here's Tom Wren.
Thank you, Kendall. Port Adelaide forward Orazio Fantasia says the competitive nature of selection is a good thing for the side as it looks to extend its club record winning streak to 14. The Power have made 6 changes for tomorrow's clash against Carlton, with some forced changes including Charlie Dixon, Trent McKenzie and Jason Horne-Francis, who are all injured. But Ryan Burton, Sam Hayes and Quinton Narkle have all been dropped. Fantasia telling Will and Lucy competition is hot for spots.
It's the sort of competitive energy that you want. You know, like you're winning, but if you're not playing well, there's someone in the SANFL playing really well.
Fantasia will play with the Maggies in the SANFL against North at Alberton tomorrow. Well, Sydney has kept their finals hopes alive after claiming a thrilling 2-point win over the Western Bulldogs at the SCG. Sydney's Lance Franklin telling Fox Footy it was a great finish.
We'd like to be further up the ladder, but the context of the season, we're going to win every game from here, but it's just the start. They're a great side. They're a really good side, so, it's just an unbelievable finish to the game, really. To come up with a win, super.
Yeah, Franklin kicking a couple of goals himself. Let's go to tennis. Ons Jabeur has come from a set down to beat Arina Sabalenka and progress to the Wimbledon final. She'll take on Marketa Vondrousova, who beat Elena Svitolina in straight sets. To golf, Minwoo Lee is equal 26th, 2 under par after the first round of the Scottish Open. He's 7 shots off the pace. And in some cycling, Australian Jai Hindley remains 3rd overall after stage 12 of the Tour de France. 2 minutes and 40 seconds behind yellow jersey holder Jonas Vingegaard. And that's the 5AA Sport.
Now to the traffic.
G'day there. We've had some urgent gasworks pop up this morning at Warradale, Oaklands Road near Hazelmere Road. We're over the road at Erbrae, Glen Osmond Road near Portrush Road. Busy Marlow Road at Greenacres, slow Port Wakefield Road at Parafield Gardens. With cameras today, Salisbury Highway, Parafield Gardens and Smith Street at Walkerville. The Guzmani Gomez Cali Burrito with its Chipotle seasoned fries, choice of filling, fresh pico de gallo, guac, sour cream and more. It's legendary. Only at GYG. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
Pack away the bikinis and boardies, pull out the woolies and get your brakes checked at Automasters.
Mostly sunny and 17 today, showers tomorrow 14, mostly sunny for Sunday 15 and sunny on Monday 16. At the moment 10. More news as it happens on 5AA.
Live from the Adelaide Central Market, you're listening to 5AA Breakfast. Will Goodings and Lucy Loken.
Test drive the Cherry Emoda 5 at Cherry Glen Osmond from 33k drive away with immediate delivery. Go Cherry.
8:36 this Friday, 14th of July. Happy Bastille Day to those who love France and all things French and all our Francophiles here in South Australia. We're down here at Central Markets for another 25 or so minutes, so come down and say hi and grab a coffee. But of course, the market's celebrating Bastille Day all of today and all of tomorrow. Will, it's been an excellent morning so far. We're in full swing here with the coffees, the pastries. We had a cheese tasting. I think it's been the best morning ever.
And it's about to get better, Luce, because Feedback Friday is one of our favourite segments of the week, and it's all the more special when we're at the Central Markets because we do it live. And we get to do it live with sometimes some listeners who we've spoken to, we're familiar with, who text us. Some of them are very funny, and one of those is our first Feedback Friday contestant today in the running to win a $100 Samtas seafood voucher, and that is Kaz from Brompton. Kaz, good morning to you.
Good morning, Alternative A team.
Kaz, we love your texts. We love your sarcasm, your quick wit. Thank you for coming down to see us this morning.
Pleasure. My only reason for being here today.
Oh, thank you, Kaz. Now, are you familiar with Feedback Friday? You would have heard the segment, no wrong answers.
I am.
You cannot lose this comp. It's very easy. Is working from home a con, do you reckon? Public servants have been allowed to work from home federally permanently. Do you reckon it's a con?
No, because I tried to get it happening 30 years ago for the ATO.
Is that right?
Yes. I was on a working party to see the viability of it. But
what did they say?
Technology wasn't with it.
Kaz, the mother of working from home. Who knew?
Kaz, we are talking France today, but of course the Tour de France has been happening in the background. Do you watch the Tour de France for cycling or just to see the pretty French villages?
Both, and for 15 years.
Cycling fan.
I need Tour de France because of the scenery. It's got like going for a good Sunday drive.
It is, it's beautiful.
What is the craziest you've ever celebrated a win in your life? The Thunderbirds players, of course, won the Suncorp Super Netball Grand Final, and we had a few on radio who couldn't talk because they lost their voice.
Never been that bad, but I actually did win the Christmas hamper at work one year.
Well done.
Hefty celebration, I can imagine. Emmys have been announced, the nominations this week. The TV shows with the most amount of nominations are Succession, The Last of Us, Ted Lasso and The White Lotus. Have you seen any of them?
No, I don't watch any of those.
It's so interesting. It's the nature of streaming television now.
Oh, Stranger Things, yes.
Stranger Things.
Binged, yes.
Stranger Things is excellent. I think it might have got some nominations once upon a time. Yeah. But what a world we live in. You can talk about the 5 most nominated shows, and we knew a lot of people we'd speak to would have seen none of them. It's just a bizarre world we live in now.
Are you tempted to watch any of them?
No.
Still no. That's right. Final one for you, Kaz, this morning. If you were to eat a croissant, would you have it sweet or savoury?
Sweet. Absolutely. Only butter. Extra.
Oh.
Well, they're made of butter, so there's never too much butter in the land of France. Thank you, Kaz from Brompton, for joining us this morning at the desk.
Good on you, Kaz. Thank you. Our next contestant, Feedback Friday, here at the market as well, is Matt from Kent Town. Matt, good morning to you.
Good morning, how are you?
Yeah, good, mate. You were in early this morning.
I got up early to come and see you. I listen to you every morning and our podcast, and yeah, it's nice to see you all.
Matt, pleasure to meet you. Thanks for coming, having coffee here at Atlas and joining the crowd. Now you understand that no wrong answers here.
Yep, that's good.
Yeah.
Can't mess it up.
Yeah, you can't mess it up. That's the beauty of Feedback Friday. Earlier in the week, a Shetland pony called Sammy was stolen on a young girl's 10th birthday. As a kid, did you ever lose a pet, have one run away?
No, I lived on a farm, so they could pretty much run anywhere.
Oh, so they just became dinner then?
They did, or if they wanted to be fed, they'd come home.
Yeah, right.
So it's a bit different.
Sort of one of Lucy's ilk.
Yeah.
You good farm people. Who's your favourite current Australian tennis player? This is why the question's in there, because we all had this conversation at work going, it's kind of tough at the moment.
Yeah, it is tough. There's none at Wimbledon left. I can't think of any.
Well, there's none left at Wimbledon. That's right.
No, they all got knocked out.
They did.
Who's your favourite, Luce? You're our tennis aficionado.
Yeah, I like Jason Kubler at the moment.
Jason Kubler
got knocked out early, but he had a pretty good run in the Australian summer season of tennis. Have you been watching Wimbledon, Matt?
No, I know.
Yeah, well,
cricket. More the cricket than the tennis.
Yeah, it'd be a good time to be in England if you're a sports
fan.
It
would, yeah.
The French. We've been talking about the French today. Do you think the French are classy or arrogant?
I've been there. They're pretty arrogant. If you don't speak their language, they have no time for you at all.
Paris?
So, yes.
Yeah, apparently I think Paris is the worst.
Yeah. Oh, a bit of both.
A bit of both.
Yeah. A lot of arrogance, though.
Yeah.
So they probably have a right to be in some ways, don't they?
I guess it's their country.
It is.
Their language.
Yeah, that's right.
Scott Morrison has indicated he's got no plans to leave Parliament. Do you reckon it's time for ScoMo to go?
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah, he should have probably given up his seat pretty soon after, I reckon. Yeah.
I don't know what's in it for him right now.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but he needs the pension, full pension. He should have been. They should be eligible for the full pension.
If you're a Prime Minister.
Correct.
Yeah, I think that's a reasonable point.
Phil Corey said the other day.
Yeah.
Same
thing. And just lastly, how far do you think you could throw a tuna? So the world record was 35 metres.
A 10-kilogram rubber tuna.
You look like a fit bloke.
Yeah, not that far. I'd say half that, 15 will go.
15 metres, yeah, that seems reasonable.
The record was set by an Olympian.
Yeah,
so
Sean Carlin.
Sean Carlin?
Yeah, I saw him at Kensington one year, a long time ago.
Was he tossing something?
He was practising.
Right.
Yeah,
not with a tuna, presumably.
Not with a tuna. It was a hammer.
Yeah,
he was good at that.
He was exceptional at that.
Yeah.
And you're exceptional at Feedback Friday. Thank you, Matt.
Thank you, Matt from Kent Town, who's come down this morning. We've got one more lined up here for Feedback Friday. A voice known to a lot of our listeners over a lot of our shows, and we're really thrilled to welcome to the desk here Heather from Glenelg. Good morning to you, Heather.
Good morning to you, Lucy.
The bard.
The
bard from the bay.
I would say the card from the bay.
Well, that too, of course, Heather.
All right.
What a delight to have you down here at the Central Markets.
Thank you very much, William. Now, will you keep this kind of low-key? I can't think as quickly as the others.
No,
all
you'll
right?
be right.
Heather, there is no wrong answers.
Okay.
Now, Heather, tomorrow is the 15th of July, making it officially the middle day of winter. We've had 6 weeks and we've got another 6 weeks to go. Are you over winter or are you a fan of the cold weather?
I'm under winter. Yeah, I can. Okay, I get smart sometimes. Let's say I'm brave enough to face the next 6 weeks. Okay.
Well, you're doing better than I am.
That's called a
Heather.
dodge.
Yeah, that's good. I brought my
You could be in
Nana
politics,
blanket
Heather.
today, so you're doing better than I am.
Thank you, Lucy.
Are you a footy follower, Heather?
And I live right near one. I've got to be a bit venomous. Let them be good. I think they're overpaid and underworked.
Well, I'm about to ask you a question, not about their pay, but Rory Sloane, his 250th game tomorrow, and he's just got a fresh new haircut. He used to be Surfy Dude. Now he looks a bit more like G.I. Joe. Which do you prefer?
G.I. Joe. I think he looks rather sexy, and I mean it. I do.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Fair enough.
Excellent.
You're not the first to observe on Rory's good looks.
He's young and good-looking and sexy.
There you go.
Over we go.
Rory Sloane, you heard it here first. Now, Heather, you might have heard of Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg, two major players in the realm of social media.
Yes.
They're going to face off in an organised fist fight. Who do you think will win, Tesla or Facebook?
I will. I'd
Yeah.
like to be there. Well, put it this way. Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Elon Musk. I'm just making it up.
He's a bigger guy.
Yeah, bigger guy. Well, depends if you're talking mind or... Yeah.
Moving swiftly along
Can we
there.
give Heather a show?
Yeah,
And it may not have to be late at night, I think.
Mama was in theatre. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
Final one for you, Heather, this morning. Thank you for playing. Now, France has lifted the retirement age from 62 to 64. They have been rioting in the street because they don't want to retire at 64. Do you think they're right to protest, or are they being a bit precious?
No, I think being French, they have a right to protest. Yes, indeed. Ours is 67. Let them carry on fighting with their fists. Okay, down.
Thank you, Heather.
Love the French.
You love the French. Well, happy Bastille Day to you, Heather. Thank you so much for coming down here today.
Thank you for being a sweetie pie, okay?
Thank you,
and
Heather.
Will?
Heather, superb as always.
Do.
You know what? You know what we should do, Luce?
Yes.
Because we've 3 magnificent listeners have come down to be part of Feedback Friday Day. Let's give them all a $100 Samtas seafood voucher.
For sure. They're all thoroughly deserving.
Every single one of you gets a $100 Samtas seafood voucher for being wonderful, loyal listeners and very quick and funny to boot.
Samdas does have the best quality seafood and best prices. Open 7 days factory direct down there at Richmond Road. We will happily give Matt, Kaz and Heather all a Samtas seafood voucher. It pays off when you come and say hello.
Well,
And come and see us in the flesh, and we get to meet our lovely listeners as well, so that is very, very exciting. Coming up after 8:46 this morning, we will get to Behind Closed Doors before we finish up here at the markets, but let's check your traffic for the run-in this morning.
At Warradale, urgent gasworks, Oaklands Road near Hazelmere Road. Erbray, water over the road, Glen Osmond Road near Portrush Road. Busy, Port Wakefield Road at Parafield Gardens. Slow, Muller Road at Greenacres. And look out for cameras today, Walkleys Road, Valley View, and Wright Road at Ingle Farm. It's Bastille Day at Adelaide Central Market. Celebrate with French fare, live music, wine bar, crepes, kids activities, and more. Open till 9 tonight and tomorrow, 7 till 3. Adelaide's most accurate traffic on 5AA.
We've all got our favourites in life, and there's nothing better than a trip up the hill to the Barossa. Ancient soils, old vines, and plenty of those first-class wines. A must-stop while you're there is my mates at Rusden Wines. I've done the trip, and there's nothing better than sitting in front of that fireplace with a glass of my old faithful Blackgut Shiraz. Footy season means red season, so do yourself a favour and make your next red a Rusden. Check out rusdenwines.com.au.
Some builders think a sloping block has limitations. When Beechwood Homes look at a sloping block, they think, the possibilities. Beechwood Homes know how to make the most of a sloping block. In fact, they specialise in them. Beechwood will design a home that works with the land you have, taking full advantage of every square metre. So if you're looking at a sloping block, go for it. Beechwood has your back. Life's good. It's even better in a Beechwood home. Google Beechwood Adelaide.
So, Dad,
Yeah?
before REA got there, you were going to tell me about the bees and birds?
Oh. Can you believe how quickly REA Road Service got to us?
Yeah.
I thought we'd be stranded there for ages.
Yeah, but the birds?
Mate, best advice I can give you is make sure you always have RAA Road Service, okay?
With over 350 patrols, RAA Road Service is ready 24/7. RAA. Available to RAA Road Service members. Terms and conditions from raa.com.au.
G'day, it's Baz from Flurio Milk Company. South Australian dairy farmers are doing it tough right now, but at Flurio Milk we always look after our own, and you can too. When you reach for milk, reach for Flurio Milk and help support our hard-working South Australian dairy farmers and their families. Because right now, they need our help. 3 words make all the difference. Flurio Milk Company. South Australian first and proud of it.
The new season's range has arrived at Decor Lighting. Pendants, floor lamps, table lamps and so much more. Be inspired today. Decor Lighting, 24 The Parade, Norwood.
Decor right with Decor Lighting.
Live from the Adelaide Central Market, you're listening to 5AA Breakfast. Will Goodings and Lucy Loken.
The Cherry Motor 5. State-of-the-art driving from 33k drive away with immediate delivery. Visit Cherry Glen Osmond.
It is 8:49. Happy Bastille Day to those who are celebrating the French National Day. It is the 14th of July. Aiming for a top of 16 and sunny today. I'm absolutely thrilled about that weather. But if you are heading to the Crows tomorrow night, it will be a bit cooler. Possibly a shower, so maybe don a poncho just in case. We do live to give here. And all thanks to the Glenelg Winter Arts Festival. Shows, bars and festive fun at the Bay. July 6 to 23 in Collier Reserve. We are giving away tickets for you and a friend to get along to see the, wait for it, Heather would love this, adults only magic show.
No, I think Heather's already seen it.
Call now 8223 to get your tickets for you and a friend to get along to the Glenelg Winter Arts Festival. Of course, this morning as well, we have been chatting about popular global national anthems. We did have someone who emailed us with a strong vocal opinion about how good ours is. We've been saying all morning that we don't like the Australian one.
Let's hear some support for for Advanced Australia Fair.
John says, wish everyone would stop whinging about our anthem. Ours is certainly better than a lot, and we had a referendum about it. Just accept it. Well, fair enough, John. I don't disagree, but we're highlighting some of the other good ones around the world this morning. I don't know if I was
having a whinge. We're having a little bit of fun about it. But you know what? It is sort of telling that over 3 hours of using it as a Meat Tray Friday conversation, we've had one interaction with the program that says the current anthem's good, leave it alone.
Yeah.
It's not like groundswell, is it? It's not beloved.
Let's see what Anne in Dover Gardens thinks. Morning to you, Anne.
Good morning. So my, I like two that I can't decide. So it's the South African national anthem and O Rise, All You Sons of This Land from Papua New Guinea.
Which one's this, Anne? That's the South African anthem.
Very regal sounding.
Kaz just gave it the thumbs down here at the Central Market. Thank you, Anne. I'm not familiar with the Papua New Guinean anthem either. I mean, you don't hear it too often at the Olympic Games, I guess, which is probably our largest exposure to a large number of anthems. Thank you for that, Anne. Lots of really interesting, diverse group of nominations over the course of the morning. Everything from Papua New Guinea to Sri Lanka, South Africa and in between as well. It's going to take some judging this Meat Tray Friday because, of course, too, we complicated it by having people nominate alternatives to Advanced Australia Fair, but we'll be announcing that very shortly, in fact, just before 9 o'clock. That Meat Tray, thanks to the excellent people here at the market.
Meet at the market have
Mike
done it today.
And Kim.
Stall 15, you can go and see them next to the escalators.
Absolutely.
Just before we get to John Blake's Behind Closed Doors, a couple of new stats have come out this morning about NBN. National Statistics South Australia, one local government area from South Australia, features in the top 10 data-hungry locations, top 10 users of the NBN, and the highest in the nation is the city of Playford here in South Australia.
So the highest What rate of the amount of downloads?
Data usage at the City of Playford is 562 gigabytes. That is the highest in Australia.
And no other South Australian council areas are in the top 10, is that right?
No, there's a couple of metros from New South Wales, Western Australia, some regional areas as well. But South Australia takes out the gong, the City of Playford more specifically, for the biggest NBN data usage.
What's happening out there in the City of Playford? What's causing the mass amount of downloads and data use? What's second?
Logan City in Queensland. These are LGAs, of course. Followed by City of Kwinana in Western Australia.
Would it be the biggest population-wise? That is absolutely fascinating.
They have narrowed down, of course, the top 5 Greater Adelaide LGA. So City of Playford, of course, takes out the top on 562 gigs. Followed by the City of Salisbury on 484 gigs. Then the Adelaide Plains Council, Town of Gawler, followed by the City of Tea Tree Gully there in 5th.
So the northern suburbs overrepresented when it comes to data usage. I cannot proffer an explanation as to why that's the case. If you've got one, you can fire it through to us quickly on the Duttons text line. That blows my mind that we'd have anywhere in Adelaide that would be in the top couple. Because you'd think the kind of places that would be using the most data are streaming all the time and using all of their television, like these sort of young areas where everything they do is connected. Everything's a smart fridge or they don't watch terrestrial television, all that kind of stuff. Mind-boggling.
We will, of course, award a Meat Tray Friday winner very, very shortly, but it is time to get to John Blake's Behind Closed Doors this Friday. Aussie Fast Transport Solutions, Interstate Freight, Distribution, Warehousing and Local Adelaide Couriers. Call Aussie Fast 13 13 64.
And when we get behind closed...
5AA Breakfast, Will Goodings and Lucy Logan.
Yes, welcome back, and great to hear a bit of uplifting music from Mozart there.
It's Johann Strauss, Lucy.
Right, well, I'm sitting in the main chair once again, doing the panelling, pushing all the buttons, and nobody is sure whether Will Goodings relinquished his position or if I just refused to move. Welcome back to Will Goodings.
Yeah, good morning again, Luce.
Not sure if I like everybody calling me Luce, but we'll move on quickly. Very cold outside.
It's very cold, Luce. I mean, Lucy.
Time now for my movie review. Well, last night I had to watch Monty Python's Meaning of Life.
Yeah, what did you think?
Well, I thought the humour was very dated, but the movie did tackle the full spectrum of human existence with a satirical look at society's biggest issues back in the 1980s, poking fun at Catholicism and authoritative figures in day-to-day life, while also pointing out that we will never truly know the full meaning of life. But it wasn't a laugh-out-loud comedy for me. I didn't find myself holding my sides and laughing out loud because the humour may have been funny back then, but it's now very dated.
Yeah, it was laugh out loud back then.
I'm sure it was, but it wasn't for me last night.
No, I get that.
But the scene where Death himself knocks on the door at the dinner party and they introduce him and he's dressed in the full black outfit and carrying a big axe-looking thing. And
yeah, it's called a scythe, Lucy.
Yes, and he keeps saying, I am Mr. Death, I am the Grim Reaper, and they just think he's someone from the village, and he tells them that they're all dead, and they say, how did we all die? And he points to the salmon moose with his long bony finger, and they all realise that they have all died, and they follow him outside, and they all decide to take their cars, and the cars have all turned translucent, and they drive off into the afterlife.
Yeah.
But the meaning of life, I gave it 3 stars. It wasn't very funny.
Yeah, how do you explain that?
John Blake's just had his fun this week. Good news, Pembo's back next week. So there will be no more of me to poke fun at.
Your movie reviews are back next week.
My movie reviews will be back Monday and Tuesday next week. But David does make his return from holidays next week. Thankfully, he will be back on Tuesday. Thank you, Blakey. I have enjoyed this week being Blakey'd.
Yeah, you've been featured.
I think I had 5 out of 5 days. I think that's enough. People don't want to hear from me anymore, and I don't want to hear from me anymore.
Oh, no. Yeah, because protesting against Blakey has always worked.
I know.
We just, as a general comment, because I don't want to necessarily get to the specifics of them, but a lot of people in the Duttons text line have suggested a correlation between unemployment and downloading. And I don't want to get any more specific than that. But people there's a constant theme that's come through on the text line about why we may lead the nation in a certain area. I'm not sure if there's any science to that, but worth mentioning given we've had about 35 texts that have suggested that. Now, we have a Meat Tray Friday winner to announce, Luce. The meat at the market provided what is a magnificent meat tray for us. You can get them at stall 15, right by the middle escalators here. Anthony from Mawson Lakes is our Meat Tray Friday winner with his entry about the words of Advanced Australia Fair to the theme of working class man being an alternate Australian anthem. That was performed by Adam Hills, you were saying.
Yeah, Adam Hills did it as a comedy routine. We had a few people text that in, of course, but does take a caller to win it. Sadly, we can't award it to Tom Wren for singing live on air, but give him any chance and he'll sing anyway. But yes, congratulations, Anthony, there from Mawson Lakes. You can pick up your meat tray down here at the markets today and tomorrow while they are celebrating Bastille Day. We are just actually about out of time. We've had huge fun this morning. We've got cheese tasting. We've had croissants delivered.
We stink. Let's be honest, we stink.
Please come down and see the Central Markets today. They're in full swing here. Open till 9 o'clock tonight and then open again from 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. Graham Goodings is up after 9 o'clock and you and I will be back on Monday.
Well, we'll see you then.
See you then.
A lot of shopping centres are the same. Same predictable shops, same people. But if you want something new, check out Newton Central with Drake's, Barossa